Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to NerdTube. And the world has gone insane. Just myself and Chris today. I believe there might be somebody else, but we'll find out later on if that does happen. How you doing, Chris?
Doing pretty good, same. Getting pretty hyped
Wonderful.
about women's basketball. Something I never thought would happen, but
Me too. Funnily enough, I mean, I'm not much of a basketball fan, but I do have a couple of opinions on something that has made the news, and I'm looking forward to you giving us some more details on that.
yep, later
No,
on.
no Ginger today. Unfortunately, he's got some personal issues he had to deal with, which is why I'm running the show. So, before we get on to everyone's favorite parts, which is my TikTok traces, I want to talk about a couple of things to do with with British politics. And the first one is to do with Rishi Sunak.
That's
Um,
the mayor of or the prime
no,
minister.
that's the prime minister,
Okay.
the mayor is Sadiq Khan. And actually, just to go, I know I'm not one for one who likes tangents, but as there's only two of us, I think I can afford to get away with one.
Yeah.
Whilst I've been on TikTok, there's a lot of you know. I have to say it how I see it. They're borderline white supremacists. We want our country back types,
Borderline.
and yeah, I mean, they are pretty much saying, they're the ones who say I got a black friend or something. Those ones. um, but regardless, th- we have obviously veterans of our own, and some of them are homeless. But what they are doing is that they're blaming Rishi Sunak for, sorry, no, not Rishi Sunak, Sadiq Khan for the issues with our vets. Now, Sadiq Khan is the mayor of London. He's not the prime minister of the United fucking Kingdom.
That's why I
So,
got them mixed up because their
yeah,
names are similar to me.
yeah, yeah, I get you. So, my point is that if there was a veteran who was coming from like Leeds, how is that Sadiq Khan's fault? You
Yeah, how's
know,
the mayor gonna change whatever issue there is to be changed? He can't.
he, he can't even from a totally different part of England.
Yeah.
This is more of the Tory government fault, which is something these motherfuckers don't really want to admit because when it comes to the Tories, they vote for him, and well, maybe not so much in my next story. They won't be too much, but Sunak, he's a weasel. He's like our version of Vivek Ramaswamy, so to speak, but he is in power. He's not as charismatic as Vivek, but he's definitely as weaselly as him. Now there is a story regarding D-Day as it was recently, and we had
The
sorry,
D
my phone.
Day, the real
Yeah,
D Day.
yep,
Okay.
and all these world leaders were there to I don't like the word celebrate, but to remember D-Day.
Commemorate.
Yeah,
Commemorate.
yes, commemorate D-Day, and not Bill Clinton. Joe Biden was there. Macron was there. There's this other other leader of another country was
Was
there, and
was
David
Trudeau?
Cameron was there. No,
Was Trudeau?
Trudeau. I'm not sure, but David Cameron was there. My fucking bird. The moment I keep my eye off my bird, mate, you got to leave my goddamn camera alone. Which is why. Go on, go on, go on. Oh, there we go. Get lost. Hello, Daniel.
Bad birdie.
So Rishi Sunak wasn't there, and he's the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. All these other world leaders are there, but not Sunak. So there is some articles on Sunak regarding his blunder, and
Yeah.
I'm going to read it.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just going to bring it up here.
I mean, it's friggin' D-Day.
But these guys, they constantly fuck things up, and yet somehow they have the audacity to say that they're going to make things better. Like, no, you guys are the reason why things are shit in the first place. Everything you do, makes things worse, and that's one of the reasons why you're definitely going to be out of power. But at the same time, A lot of people who would vote Tory are looking for a Tory alternative. They don't want to vote for Labour, even though Labour is very similar to the Tories regarding maybe economic policies, maybe not necessarily all social policies, but definitely economic ones. But they want a party that is more like the Tories on the social side. But I'm going to get to that in a second. Let me read this article here.
Right.
Rishi D-Day's blunder and what it could mean for the UK election. The Prime Minister, already behind in the polls, skipped an international commemoration to record a TV interview. It was the moment where Rishi Sunak's faltering election campaign looked like it was close to breaking. Britain, clearly wounded Prime Minister, was forced to admit on Friday lunchtime that he had made a mistake in not participating in an international commemoration, I can never say that word properly, for the 80th anniversary of the Normandy landings, known in the UK as D-Day, attended by Joe Biden. Attended by Joe Biden and other world leaders at the American cemetery of Omaha Beach. Instead, he traveled back across the channel early to record a television interview, which is not due to broadcast until next Wednesday. These men made the ultimate sacrifice, and you couldn't even sacrifice a whole afternoon. Ken Hay, a 98-year-old D-Day veteran, told us, "You let the country down." Is he right? A television reporter asked, and Sunak's eyes reddened. His voice became momentarily fragile, and the campaign that he has tried to fight on national security was falling apart on its own terms. He argued weakly that the itinerary for these events was set a week ago before he had even called the election. D-Day, Allied air and seaborne invasion of Normandy on the 6th of June 1944, is an essential part of the British national myth, a key aspect of Victoria's 6-year struggle against Nazi Germany in the Second World War. The landings mean different things to different nations. For the Americans, it's the horrific battle of to capture Omaha Beach for France, the beginning of the liberation, while many other countries, notably Canada, played a significant part in the military operation that involved more than 150,000 soldiers. Kings, queens, presidents, prime ministers are expected to attend memorial events which take place on a grand scale every 5 years to remember the fallen, the struggle to secure freedom in Europe, and to draw lessons. Biden speaking at the event that Sunak skipped, with Ukraine's Zelensky president as well, committed to continuing the American military support for Kiev as it fights the Russian invasion. To surrender to bullies, to bow down to dictators is simply unthinkable, he said, unless his name is Netanyahu, of course. The 80th anniversary was particularly poignant because so few living veterans are left, the youngest a couple of years short of 100. A few dozen, many in wheelchairs, made it to northern France, including 22 traveled by ferry from Portsmouth on Britain's south coast. Their number tenfold fewer than 5 years ago. Veterans are interviewed respectfully by broadcasters across the media with more than 48 hours of coverage, while political campaigning was briefly toned down. Although Sunak participated alongside King Charles in the day and a half of British commemorations, first in the Portsmouth and then in Normandy on the morning of the 6th of June, he did not join Biden and other world leaders a couple of hours later at an international event. He was absent from photos showing Biden with France, Emmanuel Macron, I love saying his name, Germany, Olaf Scholz, and David Cameron, the UK former foreign secretary, as well as former prime minister, I like to may add, standing in for Sunak. Meanwhile, his rival Keir Starmer, the Labour leader who's on track to win the election, attended and was photographed with Zelensky looking already like a prime minister. So, as images of Sunak's non-attendance began to circulate on Thursday evening, it was the Conservatives, traditionally the party closest to the UK military, who were particularly distraught. "I want to put my head in my hand," said the Conservative commentator Tom Montgomery on a BBC talk show, not quite able to believe that Sunak had forsaken the international commemoration for a television interview. It was a political malpractice, he said. Sunak had begun the election campaign in late May, about 20 percentage points behind the opinion polls on course for a heavy defeat. His hope had been staged to a comeback by reinventing himself in traditional Conservative terms. One of Sunak's first moves, a surprise, had been to promise to reintroduce a version of national service abolished in 1960, in which 18-year-olds would be required to undertake military training or community service for a year. Sorry, give me 1 second. I just got one message. I think somebody might be joining us.
No worries. Well, you're looking at that. Yeah, Canada, the United States, Britain, other allied forces that escaped Europe joined us as well. Australians, New Zealand landed for D-Day. And it was the biggest, arguably the most important part, at least to end World War II in Europe. And for a man that says he's going to run on these, what sounds to me like conservative, military backed, very patriotic role, to not stay for that is suicide for your politics.
I agree. I totally agree. And this is why it was, because Labour could not quite believe the political gift that had been presented. Starmer's party, often accused by the Conservatives of being soft on national security, was able to contrast Sunak's rhetoric with reality. John Healey's Labour defence spokesman said, given that the Prime Minister has been campaigning on the idea that young people should complete a year's national service, what does it say that he happens to have been unable to complete a single afternoon of it? Yeah. So,
and here, old men, almost dead old guys that fought through a war make it through the day, sitting there in the heat, the sun.
Well, this is the thing about people like Sunak and Tory politicians. They are happy to, tell people, yes, you should join, and we should be doing national service. You should be patriotic, fighting for your country. All of this bollocks. But when it comes to them having to do anything of the sort, they wouldn't dare. None of these motherfuckers would send their own kids to the military, not even for a day. Even like people like Netanyahu, his son, is not doing any national service, for the Israeli military.
Isn't it mandatory there? I'm almost positive it's mandatory in Israel to join the army or do public service.
And there are ways of getting out of it, like there are in every, would it be bone spurs or whatever. But there are ways, like maybe being the son of the Prime Minister of the country. That's a good way of getting out of it as well. But back to the UK, this is great stuff regarding the Tories falling apart. But I will get to another section in a second why I am a little bit concerned with where these voters will go, because what these voters want is a xenophobic party that they could back. The needs of their personal needs, like hot water, being able to feed their families, good living conditions, they come
job
second.
Opportunities.
Yeah, all of that comes second if we're not fucking over people who don't look like us, who have different accents to us, who have different melanin counts to us.
Even though those people are filling up your NHS, providing services and professionals that, doctors, nurses are immigrants or born of immigrants in your healthcare system. That's what I noticed. They're a huge part to your society and giving back and participating and being British. They are British.
And a lot of these people will never want to acknowledge that. They'll never want to acknowledge any of that, because as far as they're concerned, they took our jobs. That's how they'll look at it. And we've seen that rhetoric before of they're coming here to steal our work and they're not even working. They're taking our jobs and not working at the same time. That rhetoric's been used by a lot of hicks in my country and yours and theirs.
And it's funny because those same people that I've noticed doing that in your country are the people that would in no way possible have not finished high school, either by choice or because they wouldn't be able to become a nurse.
Yeah,
you're taking our jobs. You do.
Hello.
You can't even go to
Hello.
college.
How do you say this name, by the way? Fifu?
It's really so small to me. Spell it, because I can't see it.
FIE underscore FIIEW. Fifu.
I don't know, because I can't. That's the. It just looks like HE from here. FREW. So small
Well,
it is.
they asked the question. So who took whose job? Well, that's the thing. Like there are jobs out there that nobody's willing to do. Like if you look at the NHS, majority of the people who work in the NHS don't happen to be British. I mean, they might be second generation British, but the ones who are not British first generation, they tend to be people like from Southeast Asia. They tend to be, like from the Philippines and Malaysia and places like that.
Yeah.
Africa as well. Lots of people who are like from places like Nigeria and Ghana.
Lots
And
of
obviously
Indian and Pakistani doctors.
India, yep, as well.
And
And
then
you can call
the
me
whole
Ooze.
point, the whole point is there's a bunch of white British people that think that they're British and that these other people are coming here, even though they're second and third generation sometimes, and have somehow taken their jobs. But they themselves aren't stepping up, getting the education, putting the time in, and working those jobs. No one's taking your jobs. You're not doing the jobs. You're not qualified to do the job.
There was this really I can't dig for it now, unfortunately, but there's a really fantastic clip of this of all these people complaining about foreigners taking their jobs, and this guy he was saying, here's a job for you, like cleaning the streets, something like that. You could do this, you could do that. His work, actual work for you. They don't want to do it.
Yep.
They don't want to do. The work is there. They just don't want to do. Well, that's the work they're qualified for. Why don't they get a degree and work then? Well, look, I'll be honest with you. Getting a degree doesn't necessarily get you work nowadays either. But
it does. It does in certain trades.
Yeah,
Because, in certain professions, and I'm heavy on the nursing thing because I was a nurse before I let my license slide because I can't nurse anymore because of my back. But it's a worldwide crisis now that so many nurses are now retiring and not enough nurses are being trained, and once the ones that do graduate go into the profession don't want to stay because they're treated like shit and they're paid shit.
Yep.
They deal with shit, literally.
Good day to you, EBW. Welcome to the stream.
Hi, EBW.
It's not easy because you have to, you study for a few years, and education is not for everybody. Honestly, it really isn't. But you can get experience through work, and a lot of the times, a lot of companies want experienced people more than educated, and so oh my god, when we get to my TikTok,
How about
really
landscaping, plumber's apprentice? Everyone's always gonna shit. You need plumbers. Electrician's apprentice, we need the lights. That's never going away. Become an embalming expert. Do the makeup on dead bodies in a funeral home. Those are jobs that are not going away.
Yep, I
and pay really well, actually.
I'm gonna quickly I'm gonna show you. Look, oh god, pause. All right, I'm gonna look. We're not ready for my TikToks yet, but as we are talking about one particular. Hello, Mr. Systems. How you doing, mate?
Hello.
I'm gonna show you before we get to my TikToks. We're gonna quickly look at one TikTok now, but it's very relevant to
what
this particular topic. Yeah, what we're talking about. Oh shit! I just removed it. Here we go.
Applied to 100 jobs with a resume full of nonsense and an offensive name and got 29 interviews. After seeing a Redditor make wild claims that their absurd resume, which included stats like spreading an STI to 60% of their intern team, for example, got a 90% callback rate, job search consultant Jerry Lee decided to conduct an experiment. He created a resume that at first glance looks nice and neat and full of sterling credentials.
No, look, sorry, his name is Kissimmee Nuts. I just noticed that. All right, sorry.
Look a little closer, and the resume is patently absurd, starting with the name that I can't even say on this app. Lee's skills on the resume include arson, and his achievements include raising the average coffee break time at Amazon Dating, a thing that does not even exist, by 300%, by crying nonstop in the office area so people would want to run away to the break room. Lee's success rate just goes to show how little attention recruiters are actually paying to our resumes. It's long been said that recruiters spend an average of just 6 seconds reading a resume, and this, along with other experiments that Lee has done, show that recruiters pay the most attention to the top section of your resume, the companies you've worked at, and the job titles you've had. The rest, they clearly aren't paying attention to. And it also confirms what we already know about the way privilege affects the job search. The right fancy credentials, in this case, a degree from Stanford and a job history composed almost entirely of the 5 most powerful tech companies in the world, will push you to the front of the line every time, no matter what your resume actually says. The silver lining, though, is that making a good resume really is pretty simple. As Lee summarized in a tweet, so long as your resume looks clean and organized with clear job titles and lots of bullet points full of numbers, they'll probably take you seriously and at least give you a glance, even if your most finely honed skill is arson. Again, applied to a...
Beautiful.
And you know what? Getting to the interview phase is probably, in my opinion, the most important part. As long as that piece of paper gets you in the door and you can sit down and show them that you have the skills to work as a team member, as a leader at the level that you're coming in at, and that you're organized, that you're on time, that you dress appropriately, you're going to get the job.
Exactly. But I got something I want to add though as well before, but I just want to quickly comment on these guys here. So I'm from Southeast Asia. My teacher, I think has a PhD, who was my supervisor in uni, went to UK for a seminar, and he literally said these people have it so easy. They have it much easier in education when compared to here, where it could be really tough. No, I guess I see where you're coming from. The grass is greener on the other side, though, I may add, and I don't think people realize how good they have it here in the UK. But then again, people who come here for an education have to pay for it, so they're making sure they fucking do it as well at the same time. It's almost like your incentive. I spent thousands of pounds in order to have this education, so there's no chance in hell I'm not going to get through with it. That's your incentive, but by the financial incentive.
I did better in secondary school than high school because I was paying for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you go. So I was making sure you said it's just people who won't get into these jobs. They prefer to have college degrees and a lifestyle. Yeah. Getting in the interview is the hardest part. Well, but this guy's proven is that sometimes what you need to do is just make yourself just make a good looking resume, and that's all it takes. Bullet points, stuff like that. This guy had a resume where his name was Kiss These Nuts, and he was spreading STDs.
He got 29 interviews.
29 interviews, and his strongest part of his character is that he likes to do arson.
If you need help, there's so many videos out there on YouTube that are free to show you how to do a decent resume.
Yep. In 4 months after graduation, I only got 3 interview calls, and this is the thing, which is why I'm saying that sometimes, it depends on obviously the line of work you're doing, because you don't want somebody just to have experience when it comes to being, say, a fucking surgeon. They need to have the education, obviously, as well.
What was your degree in, though?
This person.
Yeah, I'm asking.
Yeah, what's your degree in, mate? Or love? Or both?
They'll answer in a second.
I don't want to go too much on a tangent here, though. But
okay.
What I'm trying to say is that when it comes to a lot of these took a computer science, that's his degree. But when it comes to some of the people in this country who don't necessarily agree because, like, they themselves, you can just tell by their personality, they slacked off school, they took the piss. You know, their idea of the education was who gets the most amount of pints down their gullet in the pub. You know, and because they wave the flag around and fucking like watching the Queen's speech every fucking Christmas, they come across it. They're apparently patriotic. But regardless of all of that, there is work out there for these motherfuckers, but they just don't want to do it. You know, it's the work that they are qualified to do. You know, they've been watching certain television shows and feel like maybe I could be, you know, some sort of, you know, Wall Street banker. No, you're a merchant fucking banker. That's what you're going to be, because there's no chance you'll ever be like somebody working, you know, on the London Stock Exchange or anything along those lines, because you're too fucking stupid. And this ain't trading places either. You know, that's why that movie's fiction. You know what your place is, probably more into laboring work, because that's what you're more likely to be good at, and you don't want to fucking do it because it is backbreaking totally. And maybe if those jobs paid, you know, and some of those jobs don't pay too well. Not all of them. Some of them don't.
I was just gonna
Yeah.
say, regardless, you should be working, but also companies should be paying you for the work you do. Like, I'm not
For
all
sure.
down, but there are definitely a group of people that I've noticed in all countries, but there's a particular set of people in your country, and I'm not going to get into titles, that just don't want to do it. And they'll come up with every excuse, and their favorite excuse is those P words are taking our jobs, or those immigrants are taking our jobs. They're lying to everyone, and no one's believing them. That certain set of people I'm talking about.
Yep. I'm working as a full stack developer right now for an American company in Iowa. So I bet someone is saying I stole their job. Probably. You know, some fucking hick who likes to shine his fucking AK-47 on a regular basis. He's probably thinking that right now. I always put that I was a Time magazine person of the sorry, any resume form, and it's true. Oh, great, that's awesome. Well, look, there is work. He is a Time magazine. Yeah, it's true.
Oh.
But that's what he says. So, but look, there is work out there which is good, that, in my opinion, should pay better. What these people want is work. I think everyone wants work that pays better. Like during the pandemic, frontline workers, people who stack shelves, people who take your garbage, they were fundamental in how we live, because without these people, we were fucked. And people look down at those jobs, but those were the jobs that were most significant. Even my job as a cab driver, I was an essential worker for essential workers, because that's how they got to work.
Right.
And so these jobs are fundamental in keeping society going, and they pay fuck all, you know. And maybe if they paid a little bit better, all these fucking louts would have a job they'll be happy with. And yes, you might have to work a bit hard, but you get paid well. You get a living. You get beyond a living wage. You can have holiday time. All of this shit, but they don't get that because society deems that they shouldn't be paid well, even though those jobs are so important, and nobody else would want to do them.
They are very important. I remember when there was a garbage strike in Toronto. It was awful. We're filling up tennis courts to the top of the tennis courts were full of garbage because we had nowhere else to put it. That's where they told us to put it. And you're right. These jobs should be better paid. More people would get these jobs and do these jobs. And I mean, a job, the whole point is to work for money, and the money should be equal to the work you put in. And therefore they need more money for these jobs. But there's still that one set. And the set we were talking about is the coincides with the same people that mouth off that immigrants are taking their jobs, and they're the chronically unemployed by choice.
Exactly. Like when we had our Black Lives Matter protest after George Floyd's murder, I may add, not death, murder, you will see the Black Lives Matter protests, and they are as diverse as London is diverse itself. Then you will see the All Lives Matter protests, You know, it's so fucking white. You have to wear shades before you get blinded by their skin color. You know, it's ironic that the All Lives Matter is the white lives matter, while Black Lives Matter is all lives matter, considering they are the ones with every demographic who is cheering for them. Yes, you'll get the token dickhead fucking pick me in the All Lives Matter groups. They're always there, but at the same time, you know,
The
they are the
Candace,
fucking racist.
the
Yeah.
Candace Owens of the
Yep.
world.
Now, we were so sorry. Let me just read this last comment before I jump on to the next thing. I don't even get paid $500. What the fuck? No, this is bullshit. This is what you get taken advantage of. You know, this is the thing that you're working for. No, working for experience is bullshit. This is where how they take advantage of people by not wanting to pay them by saying yes, we're giving you experience. No, they're not. What you do is giving them free time. You know, you're giving them a chance to not pay you. You know, never.
That shouldn't happen.
That should
That's-
never happen. You know, experience ain't gonna pay your fucking bills, mate. You know,
just get the employer to write a note saying this guy has experience. No rent this month, and hand it off to your landlord. See how that works. I know. I'm hoping. I'm pretty sure you can't do that here. We have a minimum wage laws. You can't work for experience here. I mean, even when you're doing work training at it like a McDonald's and you got to sit down and watch the videos, you get paid for that time too. You can't do that here.
Exactly. All this shit about you learn the industry and stuff like that, and we don't pay you, is the biggest fucking grift from CEOs and corporations and companies as a way of saying, yeah, you should be happy that you're working for us for free. What the fuck? No, never. You demand, mate, and I don't want you to lose your job either at the same time. But you have to be very. If you think you have worth in your company, then demand something. A friend of mine, he's
but
still
have
my
a
friend
backup
today.
plan. Go look for some other jobs. Have some backup. Let your company know once you have some backup that this is what you're worth. This is what you'll get paid, or you're going to these other jobs that you have lined up. See what they say then.
Yep. Well then, the US has minimum wage laws, but they get around it by hiring foreign developers. Well, if this is the crazy thing, because people are worrying about foreigners taking our jobs. Well, the laws are fucked, aren't they? Then if this is the case, if they're going to hire foreign, yeah,
their own government is allowing it, and you're mad at the immigrants. Why not get mad at the government for it? Because they're only servicing the CEOs of billion-dollar companies that even don't need this, break of having, slave wages, basically. I mean, it's the laws that needs. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Tangent here. My friend was a coder. He worked for this company. He realized that he can make more money coding elsewhere, so he left and became freelance. The moment he did that, the company he was working for rehired him as a freelancer, and he was earning, I think, 4 or 5 times more money freelancing than he was when he was working for them as an employee, earning a salary. And once again, that's the difference right there. Understand your worth, mate. So, all right, because as we're talking about dickheads, I want to talk about the ultimate dickhead. This guy is the king of blunder. He is a sycophant of Donald Trump here in the United Kingdom, and he has tried to recreate his image in various ways to get power, which is what he desperately wants. Him and Boris Johnson started the Leave campaign, which got us out of Brexit. And yet somehow this motherfucker, Nigel Farage, feels like he wants another shot at the big time with another new party. Before it was UKIP and all of this shit, and the Brexit party and all of this shit. And now he has the Reform Party. And this is where a lot of Tory voters who are on the xenophobic path are going to instead of Labour. So I want to read you an article. Sorry, go on.
Before you read the article, why don't they just get down to it? Instead of BNP and those other names that you just said, why don't they just come out and call themselves the Nazi Party? I mean, it's obvious.
Yeah, they do, but at the same time, look, there are people. Look, I think racism has changed a little bit here and there. Sometimes people don't care that if you're an atheist or a Christian, Catholic, even Muslim, or a Jew, they don't care. All they care about is, do you look like me? You know, I think that's where racism is going nowadays. You know, it doesn't care about you. Your nationality don't mean shit. Yeah, but you know, do you look like me? You know, the Holly Valance is Australian, and the Reform Party have made her. She was an Australian singer at one point, an actress, and the Reform Party have roped her in because she's white and she looks like them. You know, and that's all that matters nowadays for some people.
So,
not all racists.
He's a foreigner taking jobs now.
Yeah, and not all racist people are like that. There are people who are old school racist who will hate you regardless of your skin color. If your religion happens to be different to them,
Right.
they'll still despise you regardless. But you know, there are people who only care about, you know, the melanin count. Nigel Farage, it's pretty hard to say what he's all about, but I do know that he's definitely a grifter, and he's a charlatan and a showman, and I fucking hate this guy with a passion.
He's trying to model himself after Trump because Trump
100%.
I'll be right back.
No problem. So we will get to this in a second. But if you do know who Nigel Farage is, it disgusts me that people still fall for this motherfucker and still believe his bullshit. He gave us Brexit, and nobody's lives has improved after Brexit. Not one person can tell me their life is better after Brexit. Maybe if you're part of the 1%, your life is better. But anybody who's not part of that 1%, your life is definitely worse. 100% worse. I've not come across a single person who says things have improved for them after Brexit. Not one fucking person. And you know what Nigel Farage did, by the way? His wife is German, and he got himself German citizenship after United Kingdom left the European Union, so he can remain in the European Union and get all their perks, all their benefits. He has a problem with people speaking foreign languages, but you know who also speaks foreign languages? His two children. They speak German and English. You know, so yeah. I don't really read these fucking sites, dude. And this is on yeah. Anyway, we're going to read this comment. I just mentioned, Chris, about how Nigel Farage has an issue with people speaking foreign languages, which is ridiculous because I think speaking other languages is a great thing, not a thing you should be criticizing. His two children speak German as well as English. So all of a sudden that doesn't...
You're frozen.
Am I still frozen?
No, you're good. Yeah, multilingual polyglots. Your brain gets larger. You get smarter. You're better at maths, music.
Well, his kids speak German, and he doesn't think that's hypocritical of him having an issue with other people speaking foreign languages. He is also an EU citizen because his wife is German. So yeah, I saw that documentary that followed the fishing company. The owners voted Brexit, but how completely regretted it. But yeah, I saw that as well because they're limited in what was before they were part of the EU. They could go anywhere. They could generally go anywhere, but now they're not part of the EU. They have there's like an invisible border where they can't fish anymore.
Yeah.
And plus, obviously, when it comes to exporting and stuff like that, there's more regulations thrown upon them because and which means that their products are more expensive, which then people don't want to buy simply because it's, you know, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, and there's taxes and everything.
Exactly. So and this fucking twat here, Nigel Farage. All right, I hate. There's so many people I hate passionately, and he's definitely in my top 10 of the most hated people I've ever known in my entire life.
You know, on Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, at the end when those Nazis are melting,
Yes,
His
and that
face
was
looks,
that was Raiders of the Lost Ark.
oh, Raiders. He looks like
Mhm.
he's in the first stages of that. And I know I shouldn't make fun of someone's appearance considering my own, but I just wanted to point that out.
Your appearance is lovely, sweetheart. Zan, didn't John Oliver interview someone who imported tulips from Holland and now found it incredibly difficult to get the product? I'm not. I believe that might be the case. I haven't seen it, but I wouldn't be surprised. Importing and exporting in this country is so much more harder. You know, when
Well,
you go down,
sorry, go ahead.
no, when you go to the ports nowadays, there's so much red tape. There's queues miles fucking long just to cross on ferries because of no longer being part of the EU anymore. And we were all one big happy family before. All these restrictions weren't there. Now these restrictions are there, and everything for British consumers has become more expensive as well. Things have not improved under Brexit. Things have got far worse, and a lot of these cunts who fucking ruined our lives, all these fucking take our country back cunts. They've ruined our fucking lives, and they don't want to admit it. One more comment, Chris, before I let you say something. Before Brexit, one load sheet covered an entire trailer of shellfish. After Brexit, get the fuck out of it. Sorry, not you. After Brexit, they need multiple forms per crate. One spelling mistake and a delay causes the shipment to spoil. I'm not surprised. Chris, you got something to say before I read this article?
Very small tangent. You talked about the tulips and D-Day. Because of that connection, in our capital of Ottawa, there is a bunch of tulips. There's a tulip festival every year because during the Second World War, the royal family had to be shipped over here to protect them. And they wanted, one of their princesses was pregnant. They wanted the royal family to be born on their soil. So we went there, got soil from their country, brought it, put it under her bed. She gave birth. That princess was born on her own soil. So since then, they have been sending us tulips for the last 80 years. It's actually beautiful.
Beautiful and funny at the same time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No,
Nigel
the festival is beautiful.
Yep. Well, Nigel Farage has announced he will become the new leader of the Reform UK, and he will stand for election in Clacton, Essex. But there was one burning question: who had appointed him? The answer was no one really, or possibly former leader Richard Tice, an entrepreneurial political startup with Mr. Farage as the company director and majority shareholder. There was no internal leadership election like Labour or the Conservative Party. Mr. Farage claimed Reform UK would democratize over time after he was accused of running a one-man dictatorship by broadcasters. With the party set to contest constituencies up and down the country on the 4th of July, the Independent takes a look at the company's unusual structure and how it differs to other parties. I'm sorry, I'm so distracted by this picture, but he almost looks like he's doing the Nazi salute there.
Yeah.
And that's why they put that picture of him, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It kind of does, which is fair enough because, they're right. Reform UK Party Limited was founded in November 2018 as an entrepreneurial political startup. Mr. Farage owns 53% of the company, which is probably why he decided to take it upon himself to be leader of the party. It says it's a UK national political party offering common sense policies on immigration, the cost of living, energy, and national sovereignty, according to its website. Mr. Farage is able to remove Mr. Tice as director and take the decision to unilaterally dissolve the organization, making him the party ultimate decision maker. Meanwhile,
unilaterally? I can't.
Oh, yes, sorry, unilaterally. My bad. I apologize.
Yeah. Slow down.
Meanwhile, Mr. Tice, what the hell? Where the hell am I? Meanwhile, Mr. Tice has a minority holding of around 1/3 of the shares, and Chief Executive Paul Oakenden and Party Treasurer, oh my God, Mehtarash Azami, each hold less than 7%. How is it different to other political parties? British political parties are traditionally formed as unincorporated associations composed of a membership rather than established as corporate entities. Rules are usually set out within constitution, while party affairs are handled by committee chosen by members, like that of Labour or the Conservatives. However, all political parties, including Reform, are required to register with the Electoral Commission and comply with obligations under the Political Parties Elections and Referendums Act 2000. Reform co-deputy leader has previously said the structures allowed the organization to cut through as the insurgent party without the possibility of factionalism, which can plague other parties. God, there's so much jargon here. I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. How will it affect the election? As it registered with the Electoral Commission, Reform UK is allowed to run for the election like other major political parties on 4th of July, but with 115,000 paying supporters with no voting power to influence policy. Reform has admitted its structure might not be sustainable in the long term, something that could change after this year's election. Regarding Nigel Farage, it just annoys me how this fucking weasel cunt keeps getting away with so much. Because I'm sorry, I do apologize. I'm
No,
a bit
it's
all over
okay.
the place there.
You know, with him,
Nigel,
I saw an interview, and it goes back to what you said earlier about it's a new kind of racism. Because in his interview, he was out on the street, and they said something about homosexuals, and he was all like, "No, yeah, we want them a part of our party," and all I could think was, "As long as they're white," and that's what I thought back then, and now it's coming back to me now. You're totally right.
Yeah. But some of them will be fine with it because they don't really care about that sort of shit too much. But at the same time, other people won't like it, and at the same time, there are people who don't care about it, but no other people won't like it and just pretend not to like it themselves because it will keep them popular with those motherfuckers. Cara Hughes says, "Oh my god, Sonny, please, Sonny, just fuck off. No offense." He's chewing on my bloody wire. Cara Hughes, no crazy as that sounds, it's right, and the RS has shot himself in the foot with his behavior over D-Day. Yes, he has, definitely. Rishi Sunak, that is. And Farage got milkshaked again. Banana this time, I believe. Some people are saying that this milkshake shit is staged, and I'm not so sure. The danger is Farage talks a good talk, but he's so duplicitous. Let me say this word: duplicitous, as every other dickhead in Parliament. So many people vote at face value only. They don't check and make a proper informed decision. What it is as well, though, mate, that they know.
Sorry, they should be voting on behalf of their supporters, the people that voted them in, and they're also the ones that didn't vote for them because they're in charge of a section of, of the country that they're supposed to be supporting as the elected official. But that doesn't happen.
Yeah. But I do feel at the same time, a lot of people know that these people are horrible human beings, and that what appeals to them. Like with Donald Trump, the guy is a rapist. He's a convict. He's been convicted for several felons. The guy wants to fuck his own daughter. He's already been proven that he, regarding Trump University, that was a scam. A lot of them know that he's only trying to save face regarding the election being rigged. Yet all of this shit appeals to them. There's no policies with Donald Trump. He never built a fucking wall. But he just appealed to them because he's just as horrible as they are. Cara Hughes says, don't hold back on the insults. We understand. I happen to think DA is a weasel cunt too. Who's DA, please? Remind me again. No, people like Farage and Trump have the dark group in which, they do, but they are also like people with a lot of baggage. Like for me, if somebody I admire on the left did 1/10 of what these guys did, like if Bernie Sanders, did like sexually assaulted someone. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Bye.
I'm done. See you later.
Or defrauded people. Bye.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, Diane Abbott. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Diane Abbott. Yeah. I do know what you mean regarding her, and they're only putting her back in the political spotlight because she's got no chance of coming back in the first place, and it's only trying to make Labour look bad on top of that. And don't get me wrong, Labour needs to look bad because Keir Starmer's a wanker who's trying to get rid of anyone who's leftist in the Labour Party, but they want to make Labour, they want to remold Labour into a right-wing party. Oh my God, if Trump gets voted back in, and he likely will, we're officially in the world of that movie, Idiocracy, is how you say it? The film.
Yeah, the one with the guy from Brooklyn
Ant-Man.
911. He was the sergeant or the lieutenant.
Was it
the
Paul Rudd?
actor? He plays the president of the United States, and people get so stupid in that movie.
That was Terry. That was Terry Crews.
Yeah.
Terry Crews. Yeah, he played the porn star president.
Yeah.
Look, I think we're already there already because there's so many people who just don't do reality bemused. We live in a world now where if you know what's real, you're not supposed to believe in it because conspiracies are far more palatable for a lot of these people. When you have something like mask mandates and COVID vaccines that are there to help people, and Trump was pushing that shit, that was the only time he got any pushback from his own supporters, when he tried to do the right fucking thing. His supporters didn't want to know, because apparently it's popular. Anything that people on the left seems to not necessarily like but agree with, the right has to go the other direction. It has to. It can't find common ground on anything. And the funny thing is, these are just like your bog standard basic voters who don't know their fucking arsehole from their elbow, because the people in power on the right were taking the fucking vaccine, were following the fucking mandates. At Fox News, for instance, sorry about my birds. At Fox News, for instance, they had vaccine mandates. You had to wear masks, all of this shit. All of these things were going on at their headquarters. Yet they were at the same time telling everyone else that all of this shit is a hoax and you shouldn't be concerned about it, while following the rules religiously themselves.
On and on about who was the top medical guy at the time, started with an F.
Fauci, Dr. Fauci.
They were making fun of him, his appearance and stuff. It's like, he's there as a doctor. He's there as your top doctor. He's there as the expert, and they're challenging him with the most absurd, non-peer-reviewed pieces of toilet paper that they thought were proof against what he was saying. They were taking polls of their watchers as if that was somehow proving what he was saying was wrong. Oh my God.
I know, and that Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'm going to get on her a little bit later.
Thank
you very much.
I'm grabbing a Coke.
No, don't shit here. Not you, the bird.
Oh.
I find it unbelievable that someone in prison can still stand for president. And you know what? I'm waiting for Christine to come back, but I want to respond to that. Zam, you're not paying. Oh, I do. Trust me, I do. I give them my food. They take my food off me, don't they? So this is Lemon, by the way. Hello, say hello to Lemon. She's my baby girl, aren't you, Lemon? My beautiful baby girl. And I like sticking her in my mouth and pretending to eat her.
Sorry, I just came in on the end of that one. Do you have a bird in your mouth? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Now, this is the funny thing regarding the comment here from Cara Hughes saying, I find it unbelievable that someone in prison can still stand for office as president. Well, you know what? He is a convicted felon. So you know what that means? That if he does become president, he is not allowed to enter a whole fuck ton of countries, including my own. But he's a convicted felon. He's not allowed to come to so many countries. And this guy's going to be president of the United States.
But
Thank you for loving the
they'll
birds.
make exceptions. They'll make exceptions because
Yes.
he's a president, and it's so hypocritical because some poor guy who fucked up in his 20s got a small felony, 4th-degree felony, did something stupid, but has moved on. 20 years later, still trying to, get his career in order, has been working really hard, but gets denied jobs because they do a background check on that American and it says felon. So these poor, people that, messed up to a somewhat fucked up degree, but not too bad, and it just made felon, right? Because there's other charges below that, but say 4th-degree felon, a little bit of marijuana, in college that you might have been selling. Yet this guy can do all these major felonies and be president of the country.
And he was breaking so many rules and should have been thrown in jail for that alone, prior to the conviction. And not shit. Like the judge was going, this time, Trump, if you break another rule, I'm definitely going to throw you in prison this time. It's like somebody made a joke like saying, it's like when a parent says, if you don't come down by the count of 10, I'm going to be really mad. And they're going to go like, okay, 8, 9, 9.1, 9.2. You know what I mean? That's what they do with fucking Trump.
When I was in the army, I never threatened someone with a punishment unless I knew I was allowed to do it and I knew I was going to go through with it, because it's pointless and it makes you look like a joke. They don't take you seriously. They don't learn anything from it. And I think that judge was an ass. Why even threaten him if you know you're not going to do it? It just makes you look like a joke.
Exactly. He just didn't want to do it. I've got a question for you here, Chris.
Yeah.
Christine, the QAnon, think he's a lizard person, aka David Icke.
Read that again, sorry.
Christine, the QAnons think that he's a lizard person, aka David Icke.
I don't know who David Icke is, but yes, they probably think that someone's a lizard person. I've heard that conspiracy.
He's a Brit who used to do sports programming and then became a conspiracy theorist, and tinfoil hat wearing fucker, and I think he's a bit of a flat earther as well. Daniel Vance, Article 2 of the Constitution doesn't allow for someone who has committed high crime, which is a felony, to hold office. It will be instigated. I hope so, but then again, we need to talk about America. Like, Donald Trump wasn't supposed to have any businesses when he ran for president. He was supposed to drop all of that shit. Did he? No.
Not only that, I know of at least one state in the United States of America that has now dropped that whole felony thing. Then you can still run for office in that state.
I think it's Florida.
Probably. I can't remember which one it is. I didn't think it was Florida, but I could see it. It's just ludicrous. And a felon's not allowed to vote, have a gun. Yeah, and he's going to be the head honcho of the American military might. They have missiles, and felons aren't supposed to have a gun.
Yeah. Also, by the way, I mentioned earlier that he was supposed to give up his business and he didn't. Nepotism was also a big deal in politics, and he had his family swimming all over the fucking place when it came to positions like where Jared Kushner was basically as well. Kara Hughes says
his daughter in China getting all those what are they called? Patents and stuff, I think.
Yeah, and their business obviously with the Saudis as well. Zam, I'm only teasing. All your pets just nag us to distraction. Sometimes, yes, they do. I tell you that.
But they're so cute.
Yep. I mean, this girl, she's on my hand like a watch right now. Trump will never be in a prison cell. Too rich. I don't think it's the money. I think it's the position that he was the former president that has saved him. If Trump was never president, I don't think it would be any different to people like Harvey Weinstein or Bill Cosby at this stage of his life. But being president has stopped that from happening, in my opinion.
And it's a sad state of affairs when that is allowed to happen. And I think that every American, whether you voted for this man or not, should be ashamed. If you're so into your Constitution and your freedom, your rights and freedoms, and your justice system, it shouldn't matter who it is, whether you like sucking Trump, it should be applied equally to everyone, including this person. And I use the word person loosely.
There are plans for Trump to be under White House arrest should he get elected. Well, look, I'll be. I don't know if you.
That's a joke.
Okay. Oh yeah, sorry. It's hard to tell with Daniel Vance, but he can be so serious at times. Cara Hughes, Christine's at Christine Zam's right. I'm referring to Dr. Fauci. David Icke thinks a lot of powerful people, including our royal family, are lizard people, hybrid aliens. I haven't looked into it too much. Oh yeah, okay, I get what you mean now myself. He's basically like Alex Jones. And what annoys me that there's millions of people who follow Alex Jones.
Yeah,
but,
Kara, I've seen those conspiracy theories. I've even seen them put up video proof. I mean, proof. It's hilarious.
I think Vermont, you can't appear on the ballot as a felon, but they rewrote the laws a couple of years ago so that the majority vote could allow such a person to appear. Okay. Vermont, well, that would probably be something Bernie Sanders would have done, being the senator of Vermont. Christine, didn't a man called Victor Debs or Deebs run for president from prison? Just so you know, Christine's Canadian, by the way.
I'm Canadian. I know some American history. I don't know all of it.
Well, I think now we did pretty well bending some of the clock. I think right now it's time for
Sam's TikTok treasures.
I love that.
Everyone loves it. It's really good. Now I have a whole bunch of little clips to show us, but some of them are not for the faint of heart. So if you want to, we can start with something which is quite fucked up.
Okay, is it SA
Which is just
or CA?
SA or CA?
Yeah.
SA is Sexual Revolt. Yeah, and CA is
little
give
one.
me a rhyming something.
Little
something
people.
Revolt.
Little people.
Little people. No, none of that. It's none of that.
Okay. All right.
No.
Cool.
Well,
All right. Carry on.
well, I'm going. Okay, so just so people know, like we have I like to show things that during the course of these 7 days, I'm on TikTok a lot. I have my own account. I have the NerdTube account as well, which I post on both on the frequent. My birds here, my bird watch here, and they're on my own personal account as well as I post NerdTube stuff on the NerdTube account, and I come across a lot of crazy shit. So I thought let's just start off with some crazy shit. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen in the sense that it is quite gross. And I do mean gross. So this is basically, and and by the way, the people watching at home, like, be prepared.
It's not spit. As long as it's not spit, I can handle it.
No. It's not that, but it is gross. No,
Okay.
nothing sexual in any capacity.
Okay.
It's I haven't seen my foot in about 2 years. All right,
Okay.
let's go.
So my feet smell like something that's gone bad, like food that's gone bad. Just out of this world. Yeah, just horrendous.
Wash it.
my foot's been in the boot so long. Like, I haven't seen my foot in about 2 years.
Just go ahead and sign in and have a seat.
Okay. So I was born with a deformity in my foot. There was a bone missing in the bottom of my foot. So I was always walking on the side of my foot. When I was about 21, I got a surgery done, which was promising. But after that, there was a lot of pain under my foot. Kind of feels like I'm walking on Legos and rocks at the same time. I can't stand on it without the boot.
I have a patient, her name is Winona, and she's coming in today for her left foot.
Hello, we can go on
Put
back.
my left foot.
I mean, before I even walk into the exam
I
room,
thought that too.
you know,
when
I
saw this.
kind of have this gentle waft of smell where you know that this
I
is a
don't-
bad smell. And
That doctor is fucking
So my
beautiful.
feet smell like
Yes.
something that's gone bad, like food.
Okay, so that's part one. So
Okay,
that should
hold
be a
on.
bit more.
Before you go to part 2, she's got to
Mhm.
wear it to walk, but you don't wear it to bed. And you can sit on a bathtub stool, because I have to use one because of my back, and wash your fucking foot. That's all I'm saying.
Well, she's never taken. Oh, she washes with it on.
for a good
You can
sign.
take it
If there's
off.
any type
Yeah, she should. But anyway, let's continue.
of wound or infection or anything like that, this could be a situation where I check out her foot and I need to send her to the hospital because she needs an emergency surgery.
Amputation.
Hello, how are you?
Good, and you?
Good, you're Winona?
Yes.
Nice to meet you. So tell me your
Maggots?
story. What's going on?
So I was born with a deformity in my foot, and I guess I was missing a bone in the side of my foot, so I wasn't able to ever stand or walk on my foot like flat on the ground.
So from childbirth,
Yes.
you were just missing a bone.
Yes.
Okay.
So I went through having braces, and then had like 4 surgeries to try to fix it.
Did someone ever tell you you were born with clubfoot deformity
I'm
or
not
any
sure,
type
but
of?
I'm not able to stand on it. It hurts.
Okay.
And then I had one last surgery, and that was at 21. And then ever since then, I've just been in this boot since 2014.
So for
Read your
7 years,
medical
you've been in this
records.
boot. That's a really long time.
Yeah,
I do a lot of surgery on people, and people are like so sick of the boot. They're sick of it after 4 weeks, and they're begging to get out of this boot. So I've never seen a patient who is content with a boot for 7 years. Like, that blows my mind. This is the only thing that's making you walk without pain.
Yes.
But you can't live in the boot too long, otherwise other things start to deteriorate.
Sure.
You know,
I do everything with it. I shower with it. I don't take it off.
yeah, no,
you
Chris.
don't take it off in the shower.
Alright, sorry.
No, because after having my son, I
Jeez,
kind
warning.
of just put it on the back burner and just focused on my son. So I haven't seen my
Maggots.
foot in 2 years.
Maggots.
Did
Yeah,
she
see
just
that
say
foot-
she hasn't seen her foot in 2 years? For a good sign. If there's
Uh,
any
All right, so that's part 2. I was trying to find this video on YouTube actually, but
I want to see part
I couldn't.
3.
in 2 years,
there we go.
Okay.
this is literally insane to me. What do you mean you haven't seen your foot in 2
I-
years? Like, you shower with this on, you sleep with
Yeah,
this
it's a bit
on.
done- yeah, I don't really like pay attention to it because I just don't want to.
You're just kind of like out of sight, out of
yeah,
mind.
yeah,
If I don't see it, I don't deal with it.
yeah.
Well, we smell you coming.
I'm honestly speechless. I don't know how you don't see your foot in 2 years. I'm very interested to see your foot. This is going to be bad, very bad.
Yeah, put 2 sets on.
Oh god, just
I get the
that.
boot off, and that's when the entire room begins to fill with that stench in the air that I can smell through my mask. It's like, I'm a podiatrist. Things smell bad, okay? My nose is not used to bad smells, but this is probably top 3 worst smells in my clinic. Foot in 2 years.
Sorry, that's part 3 done. We're on to part 4.
Oh, wow.
Oh god!
Oh, I've seen worse. I did wound care. Come on.
Oh my gosh, like seeing my foot after 2 years, kind of disgusted with what was under there. The stench of it was very strong.
You think?
I'd like to put my foot back in the boot so the smell can go away.
No, that's the problem.
That sock was gross. That was so bad.
Oh,
I'm kind of just really upset knowing that I've let it get this bad.
Reminds me of
It
that
smells
binding.
like rancid fruit, citrusy and sweet.
That
What?
means your skin
You see
type.
layers upon layers of dead skin. Almost looks like rotting wood on the top and the
Oh,
bottom
God.
of this foot. There's obviously fungal toenails. It looks like a festering, rotting foot. There's
'Cause it
got to
is.
be something underneath all of this debris, all of this skin, bacteria, fungus, infections. They all smell.
Do you have the club foot on this foot? too?
Yeah, but not as bad.
I'm gonna go ahead and just compare the two. Oh yeah, you even paint your toenails on
Yeah.
this foot. Look
Yeah.
at you. Okay. Did you ever have surgery on this foot?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this one's not bad at all. You can definitely tell the difference
Yeah.
of the two. Oh wow.
All right, on to final part.
All right.
There's a pinky underneath there. I see it.
I'll get the comments. I'll get the comments after this, guys.
All right.
It's coming off. Okay, the rest of this I will try and debride off with my scalpel, okay? But this
Scalpel.
gives us a really good head
That,
start.
I love doing that shit.
So after the
The
foot was
briding?
cleaned off, it was really easy to tell where there was a buildup of actual callus, which is where I'm thinking the wound is. So my next objective is to go ahead with my scalpel and go ahead and debride everything.
We say debride.
Okay, yeah, you can tell where the callus is, and you do have an open wound down here.
It's a small one, thank God. It's so small. It's a small wound, but it's a deep one, but it's something that's not an emergency, which is a huge relief. There's no pus, there's no abscess. So we're all good there. We're not going to the hospital today.
So, I mean, there are a lot of things going on here. It does look like you have a pretty bad clubfoot deformity.
Yeah.
Down here, you do have these openings down here.
She's got an open wound on the bottom of her foot. She's got tinea pedis, or athlete's foot, around her ankle, her foot, in between her toes, pretty much everywhere. She's got onychomycosis of the toenails, or fungal toenails. And not to mention, she's got a congenital clubfoot deformity. That's a lot.
So let me go ahead and bandage
That's
your
an
wound.
amputation by the sounds
That's
of
the
things.
first thing. We have to do daily wound treatments because
Okay.
we got to make sure that this doesn't get infected and that it actually heals up.
Okay.
Okay, so every day you should be undropping your foot, washing it, and doing exactly what I'm about to do.
Okay.
At this point,
Would've
prior
stopped
to
this
getting
from
to
happening.
tackle her clubfoot deformity, the biggest thing that I can do for Winona is help to heal her wound and treat her fungus.
Over time, this should go away.
If we are open for infection with this open wound, she'll never heal properly from another surgical procedure. This is just needs
It's
to
a
be done in
Dremel.
stages, and we're starting with the very basic things. Close the wound, don't get infected.
Okay, just gonna tape it like that.
Okay.
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 Second thing we're gonna work on is making sure your skin gets healed. You have a lot of fungus happening, especially on your ankle and everything. That's why it's red and itchy.
Okay.
Okay. 2 times a day, you're going to apply a cream,
Okay.
antifungal cream.
Okay.
In a month, it should go away.
Okay.
All right. Now, I don't know about you, but this has been the grossest thing I've seen this year. What about you?
You don't spend enough time on YouTube, man. There's grosser.
Look, when it
Oh,
comes
that
to
was bad. Don't get me wrong.
nothing is worse than real life. You can show me horrible things in the movie, like I think in one of the American Pies, is it Stifler? He eats dog shit and stuff, but I know it's not real. He's not really eating dog shit. It's just a movie. That was real. You know, that was a real horror movie I saw right there. You know, it was like good foot, evil foot. You know, it was like
Well,
they're gonna.
I used to do wound care, so I was a little less shaken, but all I could think was, lady, if you'd just taken the boot off when you got in the shower, lay down and let it dry, put your boot back on. Yes, I know you can't walk without it. but the bone's not broken. Like, you don't need a splint, right? It's just so the bottom doesn't hurt when you walk. So this was completely preventable. And if you want to see something really gross, look up a video on YouTube of the homeless man with the maggots in his sock.
Oh God. Well, look, I saw one long time ago. There's one guy. Oh God. You know what? Let's just not go there because I don't want to make the. Okay.
Comments.
Yeah, bemused. This Derek, I found this on the internet section. Only we get to see what you found. Sorry, I'm a bit lost on this, Jeremy. Oh, I get it. It's a quote from him. My bad. Yes, the cheese warning. You're definitely right. You know, that was more mushroom warning than cheese. Cara Hughes says, I had the Mason Nova fracture. I had to wear a boot. I always took it off at night when I bathed and bathed land. I used a bath stall. I took everything off. Why would you never remove the boot? Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I was told to try and wait bare for a short time because otherwise the muscle atrophy and die.
Yeah, they waste away. They waste away.
Wondering if I need a sick bag. I needed a sick bag for that. That was tough. Doctor says it's top 3 of the worst smells in their clinic, which means she is thinking of something. Well, yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Plus, you know what? If it was the worst smell, was she going to admit it on TV? Right?
Well, I mean, maybe not in front of that. Maybe when she did doing the interview afterwards, but I don't think she wanted to embarrass the lady in her face by saying. But yeah, at the same time, you have to acknowledge what's real, and there is a rancid smell. I mean, just for the sake of the fact that she never took the boot off. I mean, for the sake of relief, like surely, like after a while, I would want to take the boot off just to get some circulation in my fucking foot. You know,
yeah,
like,
and athlete's foot shouldn't go up to your ankle. It's like usually between your toes.
Yeah.
And then
going up to your ankle.
And then you catch it, you put the cream on. Because I caught it once because when I did basic training, we had communal showers and we didn't have flip-flops. And it was just a little bit between the toes, and you just put the cream in, twice a day for a couple weeks, and it was gone.
Well, back to some politics now, and
okay.
I've got my. God damn it! My bird has just destroyed part of my laptop, and it's just driving me nuts.
I love hearing them flitter.
Thank you. We're going to start off with something which is going to piss a lot of people off, because what annoys me the most is that sometimes we've had people in here, and he's not here at the moment, but he might come a bit later, who says that not all cops are bad, but the point is there are lots of bad cops. That's the problem. Let me just read some comments here before I continue.
Yeah, just because not all cops are bad doesn't mean we stop ignoring the fact that there are bad cops. I mean,
yep. Christine, I took two toes off with a crying 16-year-old holding a torch and the patient singing Baldi service songs under the morphine.
Morphine's great.
All of what are caused and exacerbated by the warm, moist condition of the boot. Yeah, exactly. Like, surely, like, water's getting in there when you're showering and stuff as well. Like, Jesus. Sam, no, I agree with you there. Having to insert a catheter, sorry, when I was 16 and feeling so totally embarrassed for the poor man, and I fancied him too. Tucker Carlson has a new show on RU television. Tucker Russia 24. He denies involvement while at the same time traveling dozens of times to Russia. Yeah, well, I'm not surprised, and I'm not surprised he's working. He will never ever. And this is the thing, like when people said he was a big deal when he left because he'll make money elsewhere. Look, when Bill O'Reilly left Fox News, he became a nobody. When Glenn Beck left Fox News, he became a nobody. And unfortunately for Tucker Carlson, he's becoming irrelevant too. He's still trying to stay relevant because he is in the prime era of social media now, where he can do other shit quite easily, and he's not too much of a boomer compared to his predecessors. Get out of it. But still, he will never be as top tier as he was when he was at Fox News. All right, this is a horrible story now we're coming across.
Just before you go on, Cara, it sounds like you're a nurse practitioner or doctor, or maybe nurse, I don't know. But I had to give an enema to a 17-year-old once because he was going in for heart surgery. And it was so embarrassing for the poor man. I felt so bad too. So I can relate to your catheter story. That's what I'm saying.
This is say hello to Sunny. He's been peeing me off today. Okay, so this police officer found a blind and deaf dog, and can you guess what he done?
Did he shoot it?
Officer to
I'll let you
open
find out.
fire on a cute little dog. Body cam footage shows the officer walking to the fluffy white Shih Tzu named Teddy after responding to a call about an injured dog. At first, he sounds as nice as can be.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Here you go.
I don't want to watch.
He's trying to get a lasso around
No,
the dog's
you
neck.
don't see the killing.
I'm going to take you to get help.
But the officer can't seem to get the device to work. He's also not aware that the dog is blind and deaf. 3 minutes later, the officer suddenly cocks his gun and opens fire. And not just once. Teddy is dead. As Officer Myron Woodson calmly walks away, you can hear him call out to a neighbor.
Had to dispatch it.
In the officer's shadow, you can see him wave her off. Teddy's owner also confronted the officer, identified as Myron Woodson.
That's not how you handle a situation. If a dog is a threat to a person and harms a person or shows immediate threat, that's when you use force.
He is just the sweetest dog ever, and it's just his life ended in a horrible way.
City officials in Sturgeon, Missouri, issued a statement saying the officer acted within his authority based on the information available to him at the time to protect against possible injury to citizens from what appeared to be an injured, sick, and abandoned dog. The officer has said he thought the dog may have had rabies. But the video is leading to an uproar and the resignation of the mayor.
Yeah, resign. There's a lot of people need to resign after that. I mean, who the hell shoots a dog that is blind and deaf? And we're not talking about. There's some dogs with bad reputations here, you know, like pit bull terriers, and I'm not condoning them being shot either because pit bulls tend to be the nicest dogs around. But to shoot a Shih Tzu, like, American cops are just dying to use their guns, man. Like, Americans is generally, the Second Amendment, they are just dying to shoot something. I've been to America, and I've asked a police officer for directions when I was in New York, and the guy reached for his fucking gun. And if it wasn't for the fact that I sounded like a tourist, he might have shot me because I am a different fucking shade of pale to this motherfucker, the police officer, who I was asking simply for directions for. And when I tell Americans about this, they tell me about how hard police officers have it. Look, I could look like Al Qaeda and go up to an armed police officer in the United Kingdom, and he wouldn't fucking shoot me on sight. You know, He would fucking. It's just so different. It really is.
I can testify to that. I watched a man with a knife in the UK, and police were surrounding him, but they stayed back. They were using the vehicles as cover. They were talking to him. They got shields in so they could get closer and tackled him. And in the States, it would have been, oh, knife, boom, you know? But the guy had a psychological break. When he's on medications, he's a happy, good human being, functioning member of society. He just had a lapse. He forgot to take his meds, or sometimes if you have diarrhea or you're throwing up a lot, you can go off the meds that way. And he had a break, and they handled it so professionally. I applaud them for that. The video I saw of those British police officers doing that. I wasn't there for the whole dog thing, but did he just resort to shooting this dog because he couldn't get the pole to work?
Yeah, I did. Well, he just had enough. I think it's more like to do with impatience of fuck this.
That's what I thought. Okay, okay.
Fuck
So-
this. I was gonna kill the dog. It's just I can't be asked with any of this. I'll just shoot it and be done with it. And
Then
you need
he's
to bring
a
the carcass
psycho.
back. He's
a psychopath, because any normal human being couldn't get the pole to work. They call animal control in. They leave or go down the block a bit, because if they're really afraid of dogs, which you shouldn't be. But anyway, because before it left, the dog didn't look like it was attacking him. But say you thought it would, you just go away a little bit or sit in your car, figure out the stick, get back out, or call animal control. You don't just go, oh, fuck it, I'd rather just shoot a living creature that, sometimes, I know it's a tangent, I'm sorry. People can be evil. People can be greedy. People can be vindictive. When an animal,
narcissistic.
yeah, an animal aren't those things. If they're violent, it's because they're afraid or they're starving. It's not because they're evil or vindictive or cruel. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So it hurts me a little bit. It always hurts me when anyone dies, but just a little bit more when an animal like a dog is shot for no reason.
We'll get some comments here, and then we'll do another video.
Okay. Sorry.
No problem. American cops are so poorly trained. It's no surprise they have so many bad apples. And the funny thing is that they're a gang. Bemused. They pretty much are a gang. They one person fucks up, then they'll all circle the wagons, and they don't believe in doing the right thing.
Poorly trained or not, common sense says you didn't have to shoot that dog.
I mean, in fact, dog, human being, they don't give a fuck. They're so poorly trained out there in the States. I've seen also Canadian footage of them dealing with people with knives and stuff, and the cops don't shoot first. The Canadian cops who are armed, they don't shoot first. You can, you can see on the body cam that dog did not have rape. The dog was just minding. It wasn't doing anything. It was just being a dog. What the. And once again, Twilight Limits, welcome to the stream. We'll go on to a new clip in a second, mate. Join us for that. Give us
good. Thanks. We're good. Thanks.
Bemused, UK police are trained for months and they are not armed. They are armed, dude. Where I live in London, and if you go to central London, they are fucking armed. There's police with machine guns and handguns walking over areas which are walking around areas which are terrorist targets.
All right. I think we're talking to an American. Let me translate.
No,
Canadian.
I think he's English. I think he's Scottish.
Okay. Never mind then, because I was going to translate, because I know that Britain and America, we're kind of like the in-betweeners. As Canadians.
I'm just going to finish reading all his comment. To be an armed UK police officer, you need even further months of training and recurring training and assessment. Yeah, for sure. When you when you go to Heathrow Airport, which being a cabbie, I'm always at Heathrow. I'm always in central London. I see fucking police, not military police, armed police everywhere. After the assassination of the Russian ambassador in Turkey, the Turkish embassy in the UK, there's been armed police officers outside that embassy ever since. I'm going to get to your comment in a second, but I do agree with you there as well.
But his point is that not every cop in the UK goes around heavily armed, and you have to have additional training to get firearms. To carry them.
It was just a continuation from my early point that I said that I could look like Al Qaeda and go up to an armed police officer or a member of the military, and they wouldn't shoot me. But I know how they are in this country. Cara Hughes, Christine, there is an instance of a young woman who thought that she could fly from a car park roof, and the British government to talk off a ledge. She had to be restrained. That's awesome that they did that.
when I was very sick, I was at the top of a car park too, and a police officer saved me as well.
I'm very happy that he did.
Yeah.
Or she did. It was he or she?
It was he.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
could tackle. He was a good tackler.
Nice.
I can laugh about it now.
Christine, and she was carried down. Look, it's fucking with my bottle here. Sonny, come here. Come here, Sonny. Ow, 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 ow. Don't, come here. Come here. Christine, and she was carried down the stairs, kicking and screaming, but it was a psychotic break, and she was just on different meds. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Richard
Yeah.
Roy too. Welcome. Sorry, you want to answer that?
Yeah, I was just gonna say it. Obviously, I wasn't on the right meds. I was misdiagnosed. I finally got the right diagnosis. Went through a couple different med combinations, and am pretty much stable now, and happy. And I'm glad things like, what if I turned my outrage outwards? Like I was hurting myself, right? But what if it had gone outwards and a cop killed me? Right?
Yeah, exactly. I can't be arsed with you. I'd rather you be dead than me have to fucking be compassionate. That's weakness. Richard Roy too. I've heard that they're not all cops plenty of time, but when I came to how we shaped by the systems and institutions we live in, I don't think I think many police officers are going to be shaped. I agree to a degree. Like there are police officers who I've heard who try to do the right thing, and then they get ousted by doing the right thing. Like I heard this from documentaries regarding ex-police officers who actually have to conceal their identity, but they're worried about repercussions. That being a good officer and ratting on the bad ones and all of that doesn't help.
Well, that's why, in my opinion, you need a third-party, non-police affiliated review board that coordinates with an SVU, or not SVU. We have this special investigations unit, and it starts with the leadership. It shouldn't be the responsibility of rookies coming in. It should be up to the leaders, because the fish rots from the head down. So put those third-party review boards in that have no affiliation, get no rewards or possible kickbacks, and make sure that the police leaders toe the line. And that shit will slow down, if not stop altogether, right?
Yep. Cara Hughes, who needs evil God when man can surpass the evilness of the devil himself? Well said. No, I'm in Scotland. Yep, I recall. What I meant to the majority, you could put it on. Yeah, of course, yeah, for sure. And exactly. And so, look, I showed this. I want to go on something a little bit more lighthearted now before we get to more the darker stuff. Yeah. Now, all of us, we know how to drive. I'm pretty sure all of us have a driving license. So, I showed this last week, but I want to show it to you, Chris, this week. And some of the people who weren't here last week, I want to show them this. Check out this fucking car. This car is amazing. And this car is from China. Check it out.
I know why Chinese cars aren't sold in America. It's because they would dominate. This is the Yangwang U8. It's the luxury arm of BYD. You get LiDAR sensors here, more LiDAR up there. In the front, your main headlights are here, but at night, this entire thing lights up, and it looks amazing. You get one electric motor on each wheel, and combined, it makes 1,180 horsepower. And if you need to do a quick U-turn, watch this.
This is my favorite part.
So my charge port is here, and when I open it, this will tell me my charge level. But on this side, you put in gas. That powers your turbo 4-cylinder generator. This doesn't power the car, it just makes electricity.
Generator.
On a full charge and a full tank of gas, this can do over 600 miles. Inside, you get this panoramic roof that literally has shooting stars, and it can also do this. Ni hao, Yangwang.
What's that?
Kai Tian Trunk.
Voice activated sunroof.
You also get pillows in your headrest. My seats are heated, ventilated, and massaging. I get a passenger screen, ambient lighting underneath, more ambient lighting up here, and this curved display that works ultra fast. You also get a front and rear locker, 50-watt charging pads, a built-in cooler, storage space under here, and what's this? Smile. You also get this driver display with touch controls, this gorgeous steering wheel, tons of space in the back, a screen here, another one there, a third screen here, and another wireless charging pad. Not only are my back seats heated and ventilated, they can also massage me. Even my trunk has leather, wood, and suede, and look how big it is. It also has hydraulic suspension and can float in water.
Can float in water.
Now that, my
You can
friends,
put like 7 bodies in the back of that trunk.
that is a car. That is
That's
one hell
unique.
of a car. Yeah. Get rid of the qualified immunity US.
Yes.
I think there was still.
Yes, get rid of it. Do it.
Which is why I never really approved of internal affairs or the British equivalent. Cara failed my driving test 30 times after my last 30,000 spent in lessons. I surmise I'm not one of nature's driver. Fair enough.
Zam, I don't know if it's your accent, but you gotta slow down when you read those for me.
I'm sorry. I'll read it again. Failed my driving test 30 times after my last failure and thousands spent in lessons. I have surmised I'm not one of nature's drivers.
Oh well. You know, I think my parents figured it out. Depending on how often or how far you work from home, it is just as or inexpensive now because of all these Lyft programs, because you're not paying for gas, you're not paying for maintenance, you're not paying for insurance, that you could actually taxi places through these new Lyft programs and it would cost the same. So,
well, Daniel Vance said something funny here. And who do you call if anything breaks? Well, if you can afford a car like this, which is worth $150,000, I'm sure you'll know who to call. God, interior is gaudy. Interior is gaudy. Yuck.
Exterior, get a different one.
Exterior is not. Look, what I admire is the tech. Yeah, maybe. Look, I personally wouldn't have orange interior myself. I'm more of a traditionalist. I prefer black because it's harder to stain. Because a car like that will stain over time, and orange is not going to look great.
You can paint the car whatever color you want, but if the engine sucks, it's a shit car. So I would take the car parts over the color.
What I like the most is that it's not a hybrid. The fuel it takes powers a generator to create electricity to run the electrics in the car. That I've never seen before. Yeah, you've had hybrids, but to have a generator for the car's electrics, that's amazing. I like it. Hub motors, I'm presuming, but too many bells and whistles. I prefer a little bubble car called the Microlina by BMW. Wish we could get it here in Canada. Fair enough.
Oh, hey, is that Ricky? I can't read. It's too small.
Richard Roy 2.
Hey, Richard.
Do you know Chris by any chance? But regardless, regardless, come on, the car's spinning on its axis like that. My God, if all cars could do that, 3-point turns would be a thing of the past. Yeah. You know, like bemused. More tech goes wrong, but I suppose if you can afford that car, you can afford the upkeep.
Okay, I know I get what he's saying here because I had this discussion just the other day with my neighbor. I miss the old Jeep that we used to drive in the Army because I could lift up the hood, and I'm not mechanically inclined very well, a little bit, and lift it up and identify the parts and jerry-rigged some things or fix small problems. And not that I flood the vehicle ever, but I knew if I'd ever flooded it, I knew where the carburetor was. I knew I could put a pencil in there and open it up and let the gas evaporate. Like I knew how to change the oil filters, air filters, because in these new vehicles, it's just like this solid plastic cover. You can't see the parts.
Let's look at some of Drake's insane.
Okay, so I can see how that's frustrating, that it's so high tech that you better have the money to back up the maintenance. But this is still a phenomenal vehicle. It's very impressive.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, just because it doesn't look, it does look like your standard SUV and all of that. I'm fine with that. You know, there's only so much you can do with a design. but the bells and whistles. I want ventilated seats. My God, during the summertime, I would love some cold air going up the crack of my ass. You know what? Give me that every day of the fucking. Who wouldn't? In between my groin area and stuff like that. That would be a dream come true. The amount of times when we have heat waves, and then when I'm on my own, I got my balls swinging in front of my fucking handheld air conditioner, because you know what? I need that shit. And if I can get it in my fucking car, even better.
And the massage chair? Oh.
Exactly. And I got a massage chair, by the way.
In
I
your
haven't
car?
got it on. No, no, I'm sitting on one right now. You can't really see it because the thingy, but maybe you can hear it. Is it plugged in? Oh shit, the wire's come out. Damn it. Doesn't matter.
Show me later. Show me after the show.
No problem. Don't get me wrong, it is impressive tech-wise. Okay, off the tech now and on to Drake. Okay, Drake. This is CA.
Drake.
This is CA. So time to get a bit fucked up, guys. Yeah. There we go.
Let's look at some of Drake's insane deleted tweets. We're just going to start off with a heavy hitter right here. I can't wait till she's 18. Here's another one. The kids I hang with are going to be parents one day. Scary. The kids you hang with? If amazing was a young bitch, I'd be going to jail because I'm fucking amazing. Saying that if the word amazing was a youngin, he would be fucking? This one's simple. I got a part of Bill Clinton on Thursday. He said, from Diddy view, I think I see his vision. If you didn't know, Diddy is currently on the run right now from the FBI for child trafficking. Predator weak as hell in this movie. Put me in there. I'll show him a real predator. This one was also deleted, I think, 8 seconds after he posted it. So he probably posted it, reread it, and said, let's delete this. It gets better. Say long. 2016, he had this tweet up. If she's 16, I'm 16. High school pics, you even was bad then. Drake, nice for what? This is a real lyric. So these tweets are just absolutely insane, and Drizzy is just on a perk. But I think Kendrick won this because Drake has not really addressed any of these. Let's look at some of Drake's
Look, I don't listen to Kendrick or Drake. They're not my cup of tea. You know, when it comes to hip hop music, I'm a bit more old school. I love my 90s and early 2000s, and maybe a little bit. Yeah,
Immortal Technique. But Drake is shite.
I agree, and he's even more shite now. I mean, I had to be. I was really upset when I say upset, the fact that I enjoyed songs from R. Kelly back in the day. I did like his music. I thought his music was great, R&B music. But now, I'm angry at myself. I'm very angry at myself that I couldn't see between the lines. Like, age is only but a number. Like, Jesus Christ, how did I not know any better?
Because you're the type of person who thinks age is only a number. Yeah, I'm 40, but I feel like I'm 25. You might have been thinking like that. And he's thinking, yeah, she's 13. That's okay. Age is just a number. So that's why you didn't miss anything. You just don't think like a pedo.
Actually, a long time ago, I made a really cool video regarding consensual sex. And I used the song G-Spot by R. Kelly to cover that song. And it was about consensual sex, yeah? And, oh, God, I feel like a fucking idiot now that I used that song. But that was ages ago. That was about 13 years ago. Anyway, regardless, Drake is the new R. Kelly. And Drake and him and Kendrick, I don't follow their beef. I don't care about their beef. This came up on my TikTok, and I brought it up. I'm not really following this shit too much. But now I know more about Drake. He's scum. And I'm glad I don't listen to his music. And I hope he gets what's coming to him, because it's obvious, he's a kiddie fiddler.
Yep. You know what? I like Immortal Technique. I like Ren for his rap and his other types of music. But I've never been huge into rap or the Beastie Boys, yes, of course. Run DMC, but that shows my age.
Yeah. I see Drake and immediately think Degrassi High.
Yeah.
I think, was that a television show?
Yeah, it was when I grew up, there was the first Degrassi Junior High show.
Degrassi Junior High, yeah.
And then there was the second one later on where Drake was in, but I was not watching that one because I was older.
Oh, he was in there. Okay. More a 60s music type. Good stuff like the Gorillaz. Oh, yeah, modern stuff, yeah, like the Gorillaz.
The Gorillaz, Ren did a retake of the Gorillaz song 1974, or a retake of 74 by the Gorillaz. You should check it out. It's good.
Well, let's see what else I have for TikTok. Okay, these are libertarians. And I think maybe it's about time I use one of my things. I don't know. I think I'll go with this one. Stupid American cunt. And any Americans out there, don't worry, we've got stupid English cunts as well. So I don't want you guys thinking that we discriminate. But look, check out this dude. This is at the Libertarian Convention.
Because we believe not only in the right to keep and bear arms, but the right to keep and bear nukes.
Nuclear weapons?
Of course.
Well, you say of course, but that sounds wildly unsafe.
Well, everything is wildly unsafe. The truth is that even most major governments cannot afford to make their own nuclear weapons. So this is the radical.
So this libertarian wants to keep nukes.
I would regularly go to the shooting range with people that were supposed to be trained on weapons. And, one time one of 10 times that I was on the range, there was at least one person there that I didn't want to have them to have a rifle, let alone a friggin' nuke. And these people are supposed to be trained to use rifles. Come on.
Exactly. Hello, Rick B. Welcome to the stream, Rick B.
Rick B, you're late.
I got a new name for him because he's always like, I know everything's woke. I call Rick B the pick me. That's my nickname for him. And he's drunk. Unfortunate for you. Cara Hughes. Zab, have you seen the R. Kelly series? I read the book about him. No, I haven't. And I really don't. It was really weird seeing him being interviewed by that journalist and she's calling him Robert. I found that so weird, because I've never known him as Robert. He's R. Kelly, but fair enough. The Soulless, the case against R. Kelly. I'll keep an eye out for you. No promises though. If it's around, if it's a documentary series, I'm more likely to watch it than if it's a dramatized version.
Did he do that song and music video where he's like basically on a stoop, like a New York kind of style staircase with a bunch of kids around him singing basically "It's a Hard Knock Life for Us"?
That was Jay-Z.
Yeah.
All right, on to the next video. All right, I can't remember, but I did save this clip, so I forgot what it's about. But
let's find out.
Let's find out.
Have you ever noticed that people on the left are never worried that they might be fired from their job because they posted the wrong opinion online?
Hi, is this where Jeff Davies' username left for good on TikTok works? Oh, good. Hi. Yeah, I'm just a concerned citizen. I think you should know what your employee has been up to online. He has been commenting that people shouldn't be racist and that he wants to give free healthcare and food to everybody and make sure kids have houses and don't die in the streets and free medicine. You should fire him. He's a danger to society.
Whereas that's something that people on the right are constantly worried about.
Hey, is this where Ted Daniels' username on TikTok is never not right works? Oh, good. Yeah, I just wanted you to know. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you got one racist fucking employee. Like, all the shit they post online. Oh, you already fired him. Oh, okay. I wasn't the first. That makes sense. No. Right, take care.
And now I know why I saved that clip. Sorry. That's gonna piss Rick B off. Come on, Rick B, you hate that shit, don't you? You hate that shit. Here we go. The left are annoying and have no sense of humor. What are you on about, dude? Didn't you like that moniker I gave you?
I have a great sense of humor. I've had several people laugh so hard they peed a little. But there's a difference between making an edgy joke and being a fucking racist.
And look, there are people on the left I know who don't have a sense of humor, but you know what? People on the right too. You know, the moment you start making fun of maybe Trump, for instance, my God, those fucking dickheads fucking lose their shit. How dare you make fun of our prophet, our cult leader, our warlord, our commander in chief? They lose their shit, literally like Trump does when he was in court. Well, we're not worried about it. We just know from experience that keeping our cards close to our chest is a good idea. Yep, and but like I said, you know, look who I am as a person. You know, I believe in pretty much what that guy was saying: free healthcare, not to be racist or bigoted and stuff like that. I have never need to be worried about being fired for those ideologies. But there are a lot of people on the right who have fucked up ideologies, and they know they have to keep their fucking mouth shut. These are the same motherfuckers who probably march on streets wearing masks to conceal their identity. Because, you know, when they're doing their fucking Proud Boy marches or their neo-Nazi marches, they don't want to be seen as fucking white supremacists or bigots or misogynists while they conceal their identity. But they know that their beliefs are wrong, but they like those wrong beliefs.
Yeah. And they wear those
yeah.
masks, but when COVID struck, all of a sudden they had breathing issues and they couldn't wear masks.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, a couple of streams ago, when it comes to going into a Target store, oh, I don't want to wear a mask. You're taking away my liberty, even though I do believe in businesses having the right to do what they want, like not letting gay people have cakes baked for them. But I want to be able to go into a business regardless of wearing a mask or not, even if they have a mask policy, and I don't want to wear a mask. So they're hypocrites. But at the same time, these motherfuckers will happily put a mask on to conceal their identity because they are bigots when it comes to marching with neo-Nazis. Zam, our Messiah, our God, it's talking about Trump. Yeah. And trust me, people do worship Trump. I've seen there's one guy in India, he actually created a shrine for Trump and he worships him. He's fucked up. He's fucked in the head. What can I say? Okay, so this this guy. I've been following him. I think he's very funny and he does the news and stuff like that. Rick B will hate him. Let's go.
Donald Trump was found guilty today, but I don't know why.
34 federal charges of falsifying business records as hush money.
Okay, but what did he do?
He paid Stormy Daniels before his 2016 election so that she wouldn't sell the story to media outlets about their affair.
So?
This was 3 months after his wife gave birth to their kid.
Well, who's Stormy Daniels?
She's a professional actress who threw it back on him.
Lucky her, another thought line for clout.
No, he was convicted.
Look, why is this a big deal?
Falsifying business records is a huge deal when you're a billionaire trying to hide unethical activities.
That's stupid. He's innocent.
How is he innocent when he was convicted on 34 counts of 4K guilt?
Because he said, look, I don't care that he was guilty. He just made a mistake. Let him go.
So is he guilty or not guilty? And should we let every criminal go because they made a mistake?
Absolutely. On a serious note, I'm going to mortgage my home and sell my children to help him pay off his debt. Take my offering.
Why?
Shut up. We've already raised $43 million. Now I'm going to sell my organs and vote twice as hard.
How are you going to do that?
Fake votes, dummy. It's all the rave nowadays. Duh.
You'll go to prison.
If Trump's a criminal, then I'm a criminal. Just wait for January 6th.
Sorry, I thought that was just really nicely done.
He's good. He's fucking
really
funny.
good. He's really good, which is one of the reasons why I started following him on TikTok. I thought he was great. Okay, this one was really cool. On to something a little bit different now. Hey, my birds, stay away from the camera. Shoo, 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 shoo. Now, this is great. Like, this should put a smile on your face, and at the same time make you upset with how we've been the extortion that's going on in other parts of the world. Let me get to a couple of comments first. Laughing my ass off. Me too, mate. And no one cares about Trump's trial. It's a political stitch up. it happened ages ago, and he hushed up. It hushed up before running. No one can look. He's been convicted
You
for
know,
34.
I killed a man 20 years ago. Happened ages ago. Why put me in jail? That's your argument. That's your argument.
34. Like, look, and please understand, the guy's already been convicted for sexual assault. He's a rapist. So don't trust this man. He's a terrible human being. But obviously, you got to sing for him. You got to sing for a rapist. So what can I say? Anyways, check out this. This is pretty cool. That's why I call him the pick me. He's Rick B the pick me. Anyway, check this out.
So a couple of people tagged me in this video, and we gotta watch it. What $80 gets you in Japan? I didn't even know Japan could get you any kind of living space for $80 a month. But let's find out. I'm very intrigued by this.
$80
This is
a
what
month.
$80 gets you in Japan. Subsidized housing edition. So this is my entrance area. And please ignore the moss. I don't know how to stop that. This is my
Okay, interesting entrance. I like the chrome door. I didn't expect that, but let's continue.
So right when you open the door, you are greeted with a cat. It comes, please ignore this. Comes with, a sink, and we got a bathroom that's separated. Sorry, I got to draw the light. That's separated from everything else. When you open this door, you get the kitchen. Please excuse the mess, okay? I just wanted to show you. Where's the remote? You already know I hate the big light because I gotta think. I was gonna change the bowl, but this makes it less bright. Okay, I know it looks trashy. You open this area, you get kind of like the living room. I don't know what you call it in Japan. Is it still called a living room? Bet it's not. Living room area. I don't really use. It's more like my cat's area. Hello.
Okay, I mean, for $80, I would totally take this for $80. You know how much money you could save? Pretty interesting so far. Let's see,
Bathroom, shower,
what else this
good.
place has to offer. I'm honestly very intrigued. I did not expect this much for $80 US a month.
They give you, by the way. So, I mean, can't really complain. It's pretty cheap. It's pretty damn cheap. I gotta do laundry real quick, so let's just go ahead and do that.
Bro, I mean, it comes with everything. Like literally everything. And it has a second floor? Oh, we got to see this.
Long ass staircase. There's no railings like in America, so you just gotta have to get used to either monster crawling up the stairs.
I'll touch the walls
This is my
happily.
spare room.
Spare room.
Hi. I do not use. I'm scared to open this. There's no spiders, right? I've lately been dealing with spiders, but hey, watch out! Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! Nosy. We got some more storage up here.
Oh wow.
We got a balcony that I don't really use.
A balcony.
Just because
Yeah.
there's no need to use the balcony. And then when you open this door, you get my room. Excuse the bloody mess right now, okay?
I don't care about the mess. It's
everywhere.
great.
But anyways, that's what $80.
I take it. I'm not going to lie, bro. I mean, you have everything. I think there's nothing to complain about here, honestly. I think this is perfectly fine for $80 a month. Drop it down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. So a couple of people tagged me in this video, and
If this was going for $80 a week, people would be happy, let alone a month.
I think he
You know,
did say it was subsidized, but still, I think
Yeah,
that's a
he
great
did
way
say
to
that.
do it. Make someone pay what they can pay and still have a decent roof over their head. So great.
Yep. Sorry, go on. Oh god, you had to do. Oh, you little fucking naughty girl. She's gonna shit on me. Cara Hughes. Christine. Well, I love to stick around, but I'm shattered tonight. I have to go to bed. Night all. Thank you. Take care, Cara.
It was nice meeting you. Bye.
I'm not a
Come
fan
back
of
soon.
Trump, but he's much better than Biden. But look, I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of either, Rick B. But the day I choose a rapist over Joe Biden, and I hate fucking Joe Biden, by the way, a convicted rapist is the day I would have to take a long.
He goes to the UK and kills you.
And, you know, I despise Joe Biden for what he's doing in Palestine. You know, and not committing to the promises he gave, and constantly doing right-wing policies like he's doing with the border, which he said which was totally different to what he said when he came into power, because he talked about how immigration's a good thing. And now obviously he's done a 180 on that with his border policy, but he's trying to desperately get Republicans to vote for him. They never will. They'll always vote for Trump because Democrats are fucking stupid. They don't want to give policies that actually benefit the people who would vote for them. They're too busy pandering to the right. But regardless, Rick B, I will never vote for a fucking rapist, and you shouldn't either. Roy 2 says, so do they get you on heating, water, sewage? Possibly.
Well, even if they do, that's probably what, another $200 a month?
Yep. Like Cara, and well, yeah, if you say so, and you know what, Joe Biden's doing that, so why are you still shitting on him? He's brought out a policy that should make Republicans happy, but they never will, because it's Team Republican. It's not about fucking policies.
To be about the voters, not the politicians.
Yeah, Democrats are constantly bending over backwards for what Republicans want, the right wing want, and the fucking Republicans will never vote for them because it's Team Republicans. All right. As it's Pride Month, as we all know, I thought this was a bit funny. It's only 20 seconds long, but let's check it out.
Empower, he would convict you of your sin. That he would convict you of your rebellion against God. Oh, it's time to wake up, people. There's not much time left for you. It's appointed to man once to die, and then comes the judgment. Empower.
You know what? These guys who carry these signs about homosex is sin and all of that stuff, they are so desperate to let go of their inhibitions and just run with these guys and start bumping and grinding with everyone out there. But this is the closest they can get, you know? Yeah.
And it's sad because not all religions are cults, but obviously the one this guy's in is a cult. They have so twisted him and made him so guilty that he cannot accept who he is as a human being, has to live out the rest of his life in denial, in secret pain, being afraid every day that someone's going to catch on that he does like dick. And there's nothing wrong with that, but he's been scared into thinking that he's going to go to hell and burn forever. He's been told that his entire community, the only people he knows, including his family, will shun him. And it saddens me for this man. But I'd still say, if he's out protesting, don't get in his face about it. Don't yell at him. Don't scream. Do what that guy did. Just dance around him. That was hilarious. I loved it. No comment.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with you. I'm glad he did. He was doing that, and you know what? Those guys loved it. It's not like they walked away. They thought, yeah, you know what? I want to take a good look at this man. Trump, too bad, wants immigration as a talking point. Else bipartisan would have passed. Yeah, exactly. And look, Rick B is trolling. Don't fall for it. You know,
yeah, ignore. I don't want to talk to Rick tonight.
But at the same time, he's saying we should. But I am going to comment on this just to make people understand why he's so wrong, even though he's trolling. We shouldn't judge Trump. We've all made mistakes. He who without saying cast the first stone. Obviously, he's taking the piss because Donald Trump, prior to his convictions, has had several women accuse him of rape. Only one of them actually went through the courts, which was E. Jean Carroll. The story, and he's actually spoken about this, how he'd walk into beauty pageants as the women were getting changed in Trump Towers.
Underage
beauty
pageants.
And the fact that, this guy who it's amazing how Christians worship this guy, even though he'd been married 3 fucking times.
And cheated.
And on during the 3rd time and by the way, there's nothing wrong with fucking a porn star, but I just think it adds insult to injury, that this person who's a Christian Messiah did fuck a porn star whilst his 3rd wife was pregnant with their kid. Kind of shows you what sort of person Donald Trump is prior to all these convictions.
And this whole stone throwing thing, let's switch it up and use a different analogy. Let's say that we're at either ends of a drag race, right? And we all get a size and a strength of a vehicle equal to our sins. He would be in a tank, a deadly tank that if he threw it at someone would kill them. With my sins, I'd have a Hot Wheels car. So I can throw stones because they're only Hot Wheels. They're not really big. They're not a big deal. They're not gonna hurt anyone. His stones are deadly, impactful. They've ruined people's lives. People who have been conned by him lost their life savings, committed suicide. Rape is devastating to the victim and their families. So this stone analogy, you can blow that right out your ass.
What was the name of is it the Parkland 6 or something like that, or 5, where these 5 black guys were accused of raping a girl, and they found out that wasn't the case. Prior to the conviction, Donald Trump said they should be thrown in jail. Once it was
he
found
took out a whole page in the newspaper.
And once they were found out to be innocent, he still wanted them to go to jail.
Yeah.
And obviously the most famous one for me, when I say my favorite, I mean the one I like to go to the most, is that he was taken to court by a yacht crew because he hired a yacht crew for the yacht he had. And one of the crew members was black. And he told the captain of the crew, I don't want a black guy working on my yacht. And the captain refused, said that he needs this guy. And then Trump took him to court and lost. All because one of the crew members was black. That's Donald Trump in a nutshell. And people want this guy to be president.
How delusional can you be? First of all, to think that you can say that, because we all know it's wrong. But then go, because I didn't get my way, I'm going to use the justice system to get my way. What are you on?
Guy goes to court he goes to court all the fucking time and loses. The guy constantly loses with his businesses, which he constantly goes bankrupt. The guy's so fucking stupid. He bankrupts a casino, which should be easy money. And he goes to court all the time, gets fucking sued to shit, loses
because he doesn't pay cases. The only person he ever paid for services was Stormy Daniels. Everyone else he rips off, and they have to take him to court and sue just to get paid for the services.
And there's so much loyalty towards him as well. It's incredible. The guy will stab you in the back in a heartbeat, yet they're so loyal to him. Anyway, let me read some comments and we'll get to the next clip. Piss off Rick B. He should be judged and has been. Yeah, he has been. Tosses the stone. I agree. I disagree. All religions are cults. Yes, I agree with you on that, Rick B. Broken clock twice a day. There we go. Best response is just to own it. Trump, professional victim. You're damn right. Funny that Trump has a Gatling stone throwing gun and shouts while shooting. You can't throw stones at me unless you never threw any. and Trump is said that he never said about lock her up regarding Hillary Clinton. He says that the crowd was saying that, but there is clips of him saying that, and he just lied, and then the media never took him to task at that moment. It was left-wing media that took him to task after the interview was done, but during the interview, because he's with softball interviewers, they never took him to task, and shit like that really pisses me off.
They're pre-approved questions by pre-approved interviewers that are network friendlies to him and interview friendly to him. because a real journalist, regardless of their own personal beliefs, would have picked up on that right away and challenged it, along with everything else he lies about.
Yep. Anyway, let's check out this clip. I can't remember it, but let's watch it.
Iffy about coming to school here in America, but so far so good. Everything seems pretty nice. Yeah, you got nothing to worry about. We're a normal bunch, just like anywhere else. You should feel right at home. All right, class, it's time for everyone to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. The Pledge of what? It's just a little something that we do. Excuse us for a sec. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now, the Texas flag.
But Texas, what? I honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Brilliant.
What's wrong? You guys don't have a state one where you're from? We don't do that at all where I'm from.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
And hilarious.
Great. Look, Carl Kulinski made a really good comment saying that, you know what, he's definitely going to be president now after the trial. And I'm thinking to myself, people were always going to vote for him anyway. What makes it more, what rubber stamps it more than what it was prior to the trial? He was always going to be voted by his sycophants regardless. If anything, the trial will make certain people not want to vote for him because he's a convicted felon. Everyone else was going to vote for him anyway. And that was a good point. I never really thought it from that perspective.
And if he were to get elected because of his trial, that is a sad statement on the state of affairs in the United States.
And I'm already expecting him to get elected anyway because Americans are stupid fucking idiots. So, and I say this in the sense that I'm not saying that people who were voting for Biden are going to vote for Trump. I'm just saying people who voted for Biden last time round are not going to vote for Biden this time around. They're just going to sit at home and not fucking vote. That's the difference. Trump's not going to get the Biden vote. He's going to get his vote, but Biden's not going to get his vote because those people have been let down by him and constantly get let down by the Democrats who don't do enough for their fucking political for the people who vote for them. They never do.
And I hope that doesn't happen because even though I don't like Biden, I don't want this convicted felon to run the country that sits right below mine. It's like, I think I've used this analogy before. It's like I'm in an apartment building on a second floor and the apartment below me is a meth lab and it's just going to explode one day. I swear to God.
Okay, now I like Walter Matthiessen. He's one of the best sort of like trolling left-wing not punditry, but trolling left-wing commentators out there who pretends to be right-wing, so he can really get in there. Xin Yu, I hope I said your name correctly. Welcome to the stream. Some more comments here. Psychopaths, yes, that's what they are. You're definitely right about that. Richard Roy also says, Professional Victims Unit, an entire series dedicated to protect Trump against all the injustices he suffers more than any other president in American history. Yeah, for sure. All right, check this out regarding a Trump rally. This is quite funny.
How old do you think a girl should be before she learns about consent?
30.
Nope.
My daughter right now, her school is trying to teach her consent. How old is she? What's an appropriate age for a child?
Learning that stuff in school to begin with. One class, and when you're a senior or something like that.
Maybe a senior, yeah. Maybe she should learn about it as a senior. How old do you think a child should be before she learns about consent?
Like consent for a sexual activity? Why are they discussing that?
Exactly.
Maybe high school, and that should be only a conversation between parents and their child.
My daughter's being taught consent.
Well, I would say consent is a good thing in the sense of you
You
shouldn't
think?
touch people if they don't want to be touched.
Well, what's a good age to teach a child that?
Yes. Well, I think what you bring up really goes back to this long march through the institutions that is really designed to, at the crux of it, destroy the nuclear family, right? And the way they do that is by pushing these very, very, I would say, just it's not even woke and weaponized. Truly, I think, honestly, satanic. I think we're in a spiritual war. But that's precisely the point, obviously, just look at what's going on with the southern border. These people don't believe in borders.
How old do you think a girl should be before she learns about?
So
That was
This was-
word salad. That was word salad.
yeah, the last lady, by the way. Your name got me here. Oh, thank you very much. The world's gone insane. Yeah, we actually are more of a nerd channel, but every week we just talk about the last 7 days has gone around the world.
We're the
And that
Friday
one-
night crew. There's
Yeah.
sometimes 4 of us.
So what it is regarding consent, I think consent when it comes to MAGA and the right wing, it's always sex. It is everything boils down to consent. But what you should be teaching young people, whether they be boys or girls, is that if you want to say no, because they don't have your consent, then you're allowed to. You know, just because
And it
somebody's
should be
old,
respected.
yeah, it should be respected. You're allowed to say no for whatever it may be, whether somebody wants you just to take a picture of them and sit on their lap or give you a hug or pull on your cheek. If you don't want that shit, you can tell them to fuck off. You know,
Like-
because you, yeah.
Like my nephews, one nephew didn't like getting hugged. And I remember my grandmother saying, give your aunt a hug. And I'm like, no, he doesn't want to. He doesn't have to.
Yep, exactly. So that's regarding MAGA, but yeah, they bring everything down to sexual, they bring everything down to like about sex because that's where their mind goes every time. Even the girl in the pink, sorry Chris, even the girl in the pink, she kind of agreed because she was a pretty girl. I'm sure she's had people making moves on her when she doesn't want to. At the same time, she's kind of fucking brainwashed, and she went down this nuclear family woke weaponized bullshit at the same time because she's fucked in the head.
Yeah. But that first woman clearly didn't know what
30.
that meant.
30.
She was like 30. So just say, I don't know what that word means. I have more respect for people, and I do it myself because I want to learn.
Exactly.
When I don't know what someone's saying or what a word means, I'm like, what does that mean? I don't know.
Holy crap! So do whatever you want to kids. Yes, what they're basically saying. You know, and you know what? These are the same motherfuckers who are into child marriage anyway and shit like that. All right, check out this. This is
Yeah,
only
but
15 seconds.
you know,
Sorry,
there's
go on.
the pizza parlor that had the child porn ring for celebrities, you know, but let's not talk about consent.
Yep. I don't remember this clip. It's only 15 seconds long. Let's see why I saved it.
What's one thing you can say to a white Christian conservative that will immediately make them upset?
Since Jesus is the son of the Virgin Mary and God, that means he has no way of inheriting the Y chromosome since that's given to us by our biological fathers, which means that Jesus is trans. Pass it on.
Now I know why I saved it.
I've heard that. I've heard that before. That's kind of funny. Yeah.
Well, we need to teach more about being assertive. Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
And not just being assertive, but also respecting the other person so they don't have to be assertive. Like, I can just say no, right?
Yeah.
But
So,
I agree with you when you say we should be taught, men and women, to be assertive for the right reasons. For sure. I agree with that. Yeah.
They took our jibs. Sorry. As we're going here, let's quickly click on this.
took our jibs.
They took your job! They took your job! Took your job!
All right. God damn it. We got another section coming up. The older I get, the more I wish we lived in meritocracies. God, these are tongue twisters for me today. But only those who can demonstrate a certain IQ can vote, because letting the dumbasses vote has gotten us to this point. I agree, but you know what? Don't underestimate people who are academically smart, because they're cunts as well. There are people out there. People always thought that having an education makes you see things differently and maybe have, but honestly, there are people out there, who with degrees. There's doctors, surgeons, lawyers, you name it.
You're confusing intelligence with knowledge, though.
I understand. No, I get you, but I know what you mean. But I do believe being very much aware of your surroundings is different to being different to being academically clever. I get you. At the same time, there are people who are aware but like being horrible, and they're intelligent and they're academically clever at the same time. There are people out there like that, and
you know what?
Yeah.
It's never going to happen. And in my heart, I think everyone should have a vote. But I would agree it would be better off if. I would agree that we've gotten to this point because of what's happened up until this point, and that is that some people who vote shouldn't be voting. So I'll give them that. Okay. Although I would never have that happen, because I don't have the right to choose for other people.
How about making an education and right in a democracy? I'd be afraid they set up the question to purposely disqualify certain people. About making I agree. I mean, I think education should be free as well, even though people who pay for it obviously tend to do it because they take advantage. They don't want to be wasting their money. I said that earlier. At the same time, not everyone can afford education, so
that's not what he's saying here. He's saying that they could set it up so that certain people wouldn't pass this entry level to vote, because the government is setting up the education system, so they're passing on, certain things, but not everything. They'll need to pass this entry level voting. Am I right? Is it?
Well, no, he's saying that they'll be saying that certain people be purposely disqualified. Imagine if you're pro-Palestinian. Well, you're fucked in the head. You support terrorism. We can't fucking let you vote, even though you're not supporting terrorism. You're supporting the Palestinians. But
or you're just against genocide.
And against genocide, we can't have that. You're not allowed to vote. So I do agree with Richard Roy on that. Yes, the qualification issues. Sorry, I messed up. Yeah, I get you though. I get you. All right, so more right-wing hypocrisy. Check this out.
None of us on this stage are under investigation for the FBI.
None of our candidates is under FBI investigation.
One of her first acts as president may very well be to pardon herself.
If she gets elected, her first 100 days, instead of setting an agenda, she might be going back and forth between the White House and the courthouse.
Her dishonesty should preclude her from really being considered for commander-in-chief.
She should not be allowed to even run for office. She shouldn't even be allowed.
She shouldn't even be allowed.
She shouldn't even be allowed to run. I think she should be in jail.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
If you're under your second FBI investigation in the same year, then you do have a problem, a corruption and ethics problem.
Hillary Clinton is just a risky choice.
Hillary Clinton could be sworn into office while still being under investigation from the FBI, which would then put this country into a major constitutional crisis.
I mean, the fact that we have a presidential candidate who could be under indictment while in the White House is unthinkable.
I don't think they want the first female president to be convicted and carted off to jail either.
This is the biggest political scandal since Watergate.
She, and she alone, has created a situation that could do severe damage to this country.
Send this to me later. I'm going to put it on Facebook.
Yeah, no problem. Just give me a reminder. So, I mean, that alone means every Republican, whether it be the ones who work on Fox News or the ones in Congress,
including Trump,
they should not want Donald Trump to be running for a second term, because he is exactly what they were.
Yeah.
The exact issues they had with Hillary Clinton.
Crisis.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. But you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm all mumbling at this moment in time. So, yeah. All right. On to the next clip.
I interrupted him. I apologize.
Sorry, you want to interrupt me?
I'll try not to interrupt you as much. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine, Chris. No need to apologize.
So if you remember George Orwell's 1984, you might remember this scene. So if you don't know, that's 2-minute hate, and in the story, it's the part at which the members of the Party of Oceania, who Big Brother controls, they're directed to let out all their frustrations at an enemy of the state. In this case, Emmanuel Goldstein, whose connections are obvious. But I want you to compare that with a video that I've just come across of Tommy Robinson's march that happened in London yesterday. Here it is.
They like this crazy bitch. By the way, that woman is basically our version of Ann Coulter, the British Ann Coulter.
Yeah, I know, right? Really quite scary stuff. And I know that the right and those kinds of people, they like to use the term Orwellian to describe sort of institutional state things that they don't like. And it's completely a wrong descriptor, obviously. But when you see things like that, I mean, come on, who is more Orwellian and who is more about the kinds of fascist ideologies which 1984 was trying to warn us about? I wonder, Tommy. So if you remember, George...
I wonder indeed. That should be part of my stupid English cunts, by the way. Speaking of qualifications, Republicans don't need qualifications, but Democrats do. Let's face it, they pretend being a Democrat is evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, look... yeah, I just don't like giving Democrats a pass, though, at the same time, because they have to do so much to warrant why they should remain in power.
They need some balls, and they need to start saying they're what the Democratic Party is supposed to stand for. They should start doing those things and stop sucking the ass of the Republican parties and the billionaire corporations. It's a farce that they call themselves Democrats, in my opinion. I'm getting water.
All right. This one, I also do more UK politics as well. I might need to go for a pee myself, to tell you the truth. Just waiting for Chris to come back. Yeah, no, they have all done. They're just both against socialism and communism. Yeah, I know. It's crazy because I believe you're an American, Richard. If not, then forgive me. I know there are Americans in this comment section. But it's amazing how you guys are so against, well, Americans have been brainwashed into being against communism, socialism, any sort of social care whatsoever. Yet they have no problems with their tax dollars going to Israel to fund their universal health care, their socialism out there. The irony is incredible, and it's amazing how it's lost on so many Americans. Canadian, oh, okay, fair enough. Chris is a Canadian. And I've been to Canada many times. I've got family out there. One of my cousins, funnily enough, is a massive Trump supporter, and he's also a Muslim. And I've told him, how can you support Donald Trump and be a Muslim? And he often goes to America, being next door to America as he's from Canada. And I told him, look, if Donald Trump comes into power and he's able to implement his Muslim ban, you can't go back to America anymore. He thinks that's not going to happen because he's somehow some some form of exception because he likes Donald Trump. Doesn't matter. You're a Muslim. Doesn't matter. If he does manage to implement that Muslim ban, you ain't going back to America anymore. But it's crazy how people support him. You know, when I see people from the Far East supporting him after all that China virus shit, you think that he'd be the last person they would support, but they do. They support him. It would seem to be the conservative bent more than anything, doesn't it? Yeah. And my cousin does call himself a conservative. I call myself, I don't like calling myself a liberal. I like calling myself left. But you could be those things and still disagree with people on your side of the political aisle. You don't have to agree with everything they say and everything they do. All right, here's the next clip.
Let me finish my question. Mr. Batten suggested earlier that if I would like to hold his candidate to account, I should turn up at your press conference and ask the question. Okay. So I would like to ask Carl Benjamin why you think it is acceptable to say on Twitter that you wouldn't even rape a female Labour MP.
Because I don't think women are any different to men in the way that we should treat them. Unlike the establishment, unlike our judges, who literally say, if you were a man, I would have sent you to jail, I think we should treat women the same as men. And that means if a woman is being a giant and laughing at male suicide, I'm going to be a giant back to her. Any questions?
So it's acceptable.
Yes.
It is acceptable to joke about raping a woman.
100% deal with it.
That's Saga Novakard, by the way, the very big YouTuber. This is what happens to some big YouTubers. They become massive right-wingers because they get such a right-wing base who follows them off a cliff because they are sycophants. And his idea is, well, an eye for an eye. If somebody makes a joke about suicide, I'm now allowed to comment to that person by saying I wouldn't even rape you, which is a terrible thing to say for somebody who is running as some form for a politician and wants to get votes.
I would say to that man, if he said, I wouldn't even rape you, to me, I would say, well, that means that you would rape someone. So you're a rapist?
Yep, exactly. I never thought of it like that, but that's very well said. This is Mick Lynch, by the way. This guy, even though he looks a bit like a Thunderbird puppet, I want this guy to be Prime Minister so badly. After Jeremy Corbyn failed to make his mark and he got buried by the corporate media that made him out to be an anti-Semite, even though he's not. This is the man now who, in my opinion, could be ideal because he's a lot younger than Corbyn. He hasn't mellowed like Corbyn has. He's got a lot of fight in him, and that's Mick Lynch. Forgive me, I'm still able to hear all of this, but I need to empty the bladder. So we're going to watch this.
Good.
Carbon emissions and change from road use to public service use. You're going to have to have a more comprehensive 20, 30-year plan about transport. We've seen the disaster of HS2, no matter what you think about HS2. The management of it has been a disaster, and that's been a private sector project overseen by a Tory government. So the railways are failing. They're full of subsidy now. People are being subsidised to take massive profit. And it's a point that the media don't make. The rolling stock leasing companies take £250 million at least every single year. £10 billion has gone out the railway in profits. The same issues are happening on water. Massive dividends have been paid out with no investment.
But we know it's not going to touch the rolling stock, right? So actually those subsidies still stay under
and that's a problem they will have to deal with. Do they want to keep doling out this money to people who don't make trains? They don't maintain the trains. But they keep the ownership through really complicated financial instruments in Luxembourg, in the Caribbean, and all this stuff, all this sneaky stuff that people do to avoid paying tax and avoid being under our jurisdiction. People think that railway companies own trains. These TOCs, as they're called, train operating companies, do not own anything. They don't own the stations, the tracks. They don't even own the staff because our members can be moved under TUPE transfers immediately. either
Would
intercompany
you like to
or
see
under
foreign
the...
investment go from it completely? I mean, do you think that's...
Well, they don't. There's no investment. The foreign companies, so the SNCF and the SNCB, the European rail companies, have not invested a penny in the railways. All they do is get a franchise. They get to buy some uniforms and re-livery the trains. Some of the trains were built by British Rail. Some of the trains were built by Alstom from France, Siemens from Germany. There would be Hitachi from Japan. Very few British jobs.
And
But
Bombardier from Canada.
have not put a penny. This is the great myth. You think that capitalists invest capital, they make a return, and so they got a right to profit. Fair enough. They make no investment in the railway and never have done. Everything is done by subsidy now, but there is an army of accountants and lawyers looking at delay attribution, how it's all paid for. Every time a train leaves a station, there's a financial transaction between Network Rail and the train operator, and sometimes by the Treasury and the Department for Transport. It's a bureaucratic nightmare. If we had a single entity railway, at least we'd understand it and could criticise it on its own terms, that you're not running the rail properly, and there'd be proper accountability. If you want to...
Okay, I want to narrow this down a little bit, because he said quite a lot, but for me, what it boils down to is the people's myth of saying government shouldn't run anything, is bad if government does anything. Well, for a start, do you really want your military to be privatized? Are you fucking mad? And secondly, when we do have things that are privatized, why would you think that's going to be better? When you have an industry that all that cares about is making profits, why do you think that they will have any desire to invest back into the industry that's making them profits in the first place? If you are a train network and there's no other way people can get around, it's not like there's a set of parallel train tracks running alongside your fucking train network where you have competition. There's no competition for you. You are the only way people can get about when it comes to buy train. Then why the fuck would you want to make things better for your customers when all you want to do is extract as much money out of them as possible? Because you've created a profit motive business. Well, if it's government run, then surely, as it's not designed to make profit and all the money needs to go back into the organization as well as pay the employees, that would be far better.
I will take it
privatization.
I'll take it further than that. I agree with everything you said, but I think it can actually even be better, because if it's not privatized anymore and the government puts the money back in the trains, it can still make profit, therefore cutting the tax going towards running those trains. If they're run properly, maintained properly, and the prices are done, fairly, people will now take the trains more. Getting more people on the trains means more money. Yes, that means upgrades to those trains, meaning more people will be on those trains. So we'll actually make money for the government, while providing a great profit for the people.
Yeah. And this is why I agree with a comment here by Bermuse saying transport power fuel should all be renationalized. I totally agree. The comment here by Richard Roy, I apologize. Also, they separated the revenue from expenses and dumped all the expenses on the public, leaving the revenue to private companies. Is that what they did?
Looks like they separated revenue from the
expenses and dumped all the expenses on the public, leaving the revenue to the private companies. Pretty much. Yep.
Because they don't return any the profits these companies are making don't go into R&D, don't go into repairs, don't go into any infrastructure at all. That's all those upgrades are relied upon the tax from governments subsidizing those modifications. The rest of it is going to these private. It's so absurd. Why is it being run this way?
And also these same industries get so much government subsidies as well. They get everything. I hate to tell you, but the militaries are already privatized and outsourced to private security companies. And maybe in the States, I could totally understand that, because you have lots of corporations that have their own personal needs and issues, and they require some people with particular sets of skills to get the job done. Daniel Vance, Bemuse says Daniel Vance, not in the UK, the Army, Navy, Air Force are still run by the Ministry of Defence. Yet that is the truth. That is the case. It's not the first time that it's been done. Yeah. All right, on to the next clip. Sorry, that was a bit of a boring one, but it just,
I found it interesting.
Oh, this one's good. This one is so good. This one's more of a laugh, but at the same time, it's just let's just look at it as comedy. Let's watch this.
Before I show you this video, I need to clarify that this is not like a joke video that some young people made just to be silly. This is a real video posted by a real church. It was on their page. Here you go.
Don't trust in men, trust in God. See you at church tomorrow. All 3 services. Be there.
I'm not mocking like faith or believers or anything like this. I'm specifically mocking this video. God didn't catch her either. What point are you trying to make? Did you hear the sound when she hit the ground? I feel like there has to be a better way to make this point. Like someone in charge had to see this video and sign off on it and be like, yes, this is what the church needs to get people to show up. Like she literally bounced. Was that sound the soul leaving her body? Before I show you this video.
Yeah. There you go. Well, this is why I'm not religious, because of shit like that,
He had a good point. He's like, God didn't catch her either.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this one, let's find something else. Oh, this one definitely deserves this moniker. All right. Oi, geezer, cunt, cup of tea, love. Cheers, governor. Stupid English cunts. Wanker. I know you love that one, Chris. All right. All right, check out these stupid English cunts. And yeah, here we go.
Nobody asked. Listen, I'll tell you what, right? We have no problem with mosques being built over here, so long as we can build mosques in Mecca. Yeah, I'd love to see that. I would love to see a mosque being built in Mecca.
Oh shit! You dumb.
Oh yeah, exactly. So yeah, we have them too here in the United Kingdom, guys. I mean, that's the EDL, so the English Defence League. So they're more part of the England than the rest of the UK. But regardless, we have them here too. They're stupid, beyond belief. And what can I say? Anyone in the comments got anything to comment about that? That was a beauty, don't you think?
I would love to sit this man down just to explain to him how stupid he is, and see if he has any reaction to his realization of how stupid he is, or if he even gets there. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. This next one is pure comedy, by the way. This next clip, but it's not the God moves in mysterious ways. Tump, isn't it the private security firm G4S based out in the UK? I have no idea, dude. G4S. It sounds like some sort of form I have to fill in. Anyway, check this out. This one is all about jokes.
What is the most chaotic series of events in a movie or TV show?
Look out, he's got a gun. Jade, how bad you hit?
I've been better, but I'll live.
Let's get that turkey.
What is the most chaotic?
Who sat down one day and said, I want to make a movie, And in that movie, I want to.
Like, he killed the dude, and just to put an exclamation mark on it, he wasted a rocket on the fucking blow up. Oh god!
How bad are you hit?
This is sort of stuff I come up with, fellas, when I'm, going through TikTok. All right, this one is going to be. All right, this guy's is a scouse, and I do like some of his stuff because he's very negative all the time, and he does it in a way that is very enjoyable to watch. But this is more to divide opinion than anything. I'm sure you all have your own opinions on this. Just let's check it out.
The 5 worst movie franchises. A whole franchise that only exists to be a visual stimulant for hardcore energy drink enthusiasts. At the start, Vested Vin Diesel is just a knobhead who races cars, but by the last film, he's an indestructible James Bond-esque super spy who never shuts the fuck up about his dickhead family. These films are absolutely shite and fucking ridiculous. All of these films are fucking terrible and full of outrageously stupid characters. I mean, as soon as one spooky thing happened to me in the middle of the night, I'd be gone, sprinting down the street in me knack, never looking back. I wouldn't even go back to pick me fucking clobber up. But these dickheads always stay, get the Ouija board out and start asking the ghosts daft as fuck questions like, what did you have for your dinner? No wonder the ghosts always want to fucking kill them. Shite. These are just a load of nonsensical, nautical ridiculousness with Johnny Depp prancing around like someone soaked his undies in deep heat muscle rub. And then there's Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom both competing for the title of most bland actor of the 21st century. There's 6 of these dickhead pirate movies, and every one of them is fucking shite. Every one of these dog shit films is exactly the fucking same. A one-dimensional human character starts hanging around with loads of Bell-End robots. Then another gang of Bell-End robots turns up and wants to destroy the world, just with an absurd amount of incoherent action mixed in. These films are next level shite. It's bad enough that the humour in these movies is fueled by frat boy Bellendery, but the rest of these awful films are just creepy, misogynistic and homophobic. And if you're a fella in your 40s and 50s coming at me in the comments saying I haven't got a sense of humour, just remember, you're the creep who thinks it's okay to like a film that thinks it's funny to illegally record women during sex. The 5 worst movie.
And
I like that last point. That was a dig.
This is why I like him, because even though he can divide opinion regarding how he feels about movies, I think he's got his morals right, as well. So, but yeah, sometimes it does take people to show you a different perspective to really make you see that perspective as well, and he does when it comes to certain things like the Fast and the Furious, which was
he was bang on.
He was absolutely bang on. So
and the Transformer movies.
Sorry?
And the Transformer movies?
Oh yeah. That's
actually
awful.
Every series he said, I would agree with what he said.
I tend to agree. Yep, there we go. And I wish I had an accent that could properly say shite.
Shite?
Yeah, Scousers are very good at that. They got this sort of accent that sounds like they've got a mouthful of fucking saliva. Franchises are trying to cash in on success, yeah, for sure. All right, on to this. This guy is also one of my new favorite TikTokers, because he is fed up of having to justify why people who are not white straight males are in television shows nowadays. But every time you see somebody who isn't a white straight male, it's all of a sudden the biggest fucking deal in the world. And he wants people to know that it's not a fucking big deal.
When is it going to be okay to be a black nerd? People say, I don't hate black characters. I just hate when they're forced into stuff. But whenever black people show up, it's time out, Tyrone. I never said you could be black like that. Since they don't like black main characters, we show up as side characters. But then they say, desist, DeAndre. You're distracting me with diversity. A real author would never let you ruin their story. So we work hard to become the authors ourselves and fill nerdy genres with authenticity. But then it's refrain, Rashid. Affirmative action is the only reason you're even on TV. Amala Steinberg dealt with racism as a side character in the Hunger Games the moment she appeared. And now, because of her character in Star Wars, it's gotten even more severe. If you're black and nerdy, I want you to know you don't need an explanation to exist in any story. And if anyone tells you you don't belong in a community, tell them to get some therapy. When is it going to be over?
Love him.
I've seen him before. I like him.
I love him, and I follow him too because I am fed up with any time you see anything and people call it woke because it hasn't got a majority white male cast. And
Well, you're not doing it right. You know, do it this way. Oh, and when you do it that way, oh, again, that's not right either. So do it this way. So they do it this way, but that's not okay. So do it another way. Oh, well, we don't like that either.
I want to just talk about this for a sec because on Facebook there are people complaining about how there's like 2 or 3 white men in the Star Wars Acolyte series and everyone else is a woman. And I'm telling him, well, look, you don't hear Indian guys complaining about the lack of Indian men, if any, in Star Wars. Why does it always bother you white guys when you don't see yourself? And then he tried to, I forgot. I have to bring it up because I forgot how the conversation went. Let me see if I can find it.
But it's not supposed to bother me that there was no female representation on television and movies when I grew up. I should just shut up and enjoy the male representation. Well,
yep.
Like, sure, you're not going to be on the screen all the time anymore, guys. Like, sorry, not anymore, but all the time. So what? You're going to be on it some of the time. You used to be on it all the time. You know, let's share. There's plenty of space, plenty of TV shows, plenty of movies that you can watch. If you don't like a particular one, move on to the other.
I'm not sure if I can find the comment, but this person, I think, was it this guy? So, yeah, it goes, this guy wrote, okay, first episode weren't that bad. His name is Grayson Smith. First episode weren't that bad, and I'm very anti-woke, dude. Other than there were maybe 2 or 3 white men for every 50 women in the show, it wasn't horrible. But we all know there would be a lack of white male representation as it's directed, and the owner of Lucasfilm openly discussed their hate of them. So I said to him, anti-woke means wanting more white men in things and less women. Is that one of the reasons? That's my response. Actually, let me show it to you because it'll make more sense. So I wrote here, anti-woke means wanting more white men in things and less women. Is that one of the reasons? And then he responded, he's a top contributor, by the way. He goes, Zemir Patwa, no. Anti-woke means leaving the world's social issues out of every piece of entertainment that comes out so we can have a break from it. And if you don't believe the Acolyte is woke, sorry to break it, but Kennedy herself said it was going to be the gayest show ever. So yeah, it's woke. Diversity isn't the problem. The original trilogy was more diverse than the Acolyte. No, it wasn't. It's the agenda that there was like 2 women. I mean, like in the whole bloody thing for a start. It's the and most of the X-wing crew and as well as the Imperials were all white men. Anyway, regardless, it's the agenda that being tossed into everything that both straight and gay people are tired of. It's not about black or white folk. Lando, Darth Vader's voice actor, Boba Fett, Mace Windu are several great examples of diversity, and there's lots more. So he then added, it's not the lack of them, it's what Kennedy said about them. It's her disgusting remarks towards them. She's extremely bigoted towards them. So I said to Grayson Smith, it seems to be more than just Kennedy. I've seen the same rhetoric used in Star Trek and recently Doctor Who. If white men are not the dominant factor, these so-called anti-woke snowflakes lose their shit. And then he said, I mean, I don't care what the color of the actors are. It doesn't matter. But if the company is making these shows and movies that are going to be sexist, their show shouldn't be watched. And I then responded by saying, Disney have made X-Men 97 as woke as an Insomniac, and it's utterly brilliant. The Boys is woke, and with a critique on capitalism and right-wing politics. Even House of the Dragon is woke, with two queens battling each other and black Targaryens. You can be woke as fuck and be excellent. All I care about is how well the show is delivered, woke or not. That was my final response to him. He never responded to me after that. Woke is not an issue. I've already made a video saying like popular woke shows like The Boys, like X-Men, like House of Dragon. These are shows that are very woke, very diverse, have strong female characters, have white male characters under the thumb at times, looking stupid or being evil like Homelander is, and they're fucking popular as hell. Woke has never been the issue. It's just the writing. That's all that fucking matters. Yeah, so anyway, that was that. Okay, on to the next clip. I've got so many clips, I'm going to start being a bit more picky on them.
I was going to say, save some for next week or for tomorrow.
All right, this one's good, actually. This one's really good. Now, do you know who Lionel Messi is?
No.
No, come on. You must know who Lionel Messi is. No? Okay. Lionel Messi is one of the greatest soccer players of all time. He is playing in the MLS at the moment. He's 36 years old. And he's basically retiring. He's won the World Cup. He's won the Champions League. He's won every trophy you can win in football, pretty much, in soccer.
Cool. I don't even know what the MLS is. So,
the point is that well, I'll let you watch this clip. This is really,
okay.
Do you know what Prime is? The drink Prime.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard of it.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
May have just pulled off one of the greatest marketing moves with his new drink, and even KSI may have just fallen for it. As we've all probably seen by now, yesterday Messi announced Mas Plus, his new hydration drink, which means more in Spanish. And as soon as everyone saw what it looks like, the internet lost it. Comments started flooding in saying that it looked exactly like Prime. People started making videos, media outlets started writing stories, and even the co-founder of its inevitable main competitor, KSI, brought attention to it by tweeting, "Looks familiar." And just like that, step one is complete. The world now knows it exists. You see, nowadays, there's just so many products dropping all the time that unless it's more than just a product, we don't even hear about 99% of them. That's why Prime became the fastest selling drink of all time. Because along with selling a drink, they sold a story and it made you feel something, regardless of whether that something was positive or negative. And so if Messi comes along and just drops yet another drink, what is there to talk about? What is the story? Why do you really want to try it? But because they made it look so similar, but just different enough to make it really hard for Prime to sue them for, the amount of videos we're going to see comparing Prime to Mas is going to be insane. Think of it like a boxing match. Prime has already done all of the really hard work, and they got a lot of people to love or hate them. But Mas has come along and cleverly positioned themselves to appeal to both. Because for everyone who hates Prime, they're going to want to scream from the rooftops that Mas is better. And for everyone that loves Prime, hey, more of what they love with a twist. But either way, both will be paying to watch the fight. I think that Messi may have just pulled off one of the...
Now,
I thought it was going to be when the owner said looks familiar. I thought it was going to come out later that it's actually the same company with his own name for this particular player. And it was just a ploy to get people to talk about the same company, different drink. But this works too.
That would also be genius if that was the case. But this is really genius because this guy, Lionel Messi, who is obviously very popular by being arguably the greatest soccer player of all time, and he's still got a massive following, brings out a drink that looks like the very popular Prime drink, and then millions of people from every platform you can think of starts making videos indirectly promoting this drink by making those videos, and then Logan Paul and KSI, who owns Prime, promote that drink by mentioning how it looks like our drink. Yeah, I mean, the marketing's done now. Everyone knows about. I know about this drink. You know about this drink. People watching our stream knows about this fucking drink. It's done. And
it was brilliant.
It's brilliant. Without really having to spend much money on marketing, they got everyone else, including their competitors, to market it for them. It's fucking genius.
I bet.
I love.
I
It's
bet
fucking
in
genius.
total they spent 1% of marketing compared to 99% that the other companies spend on their marketing. That's how little work they had to do. They just had to advertise it enough that it would catch on to the internet.
Okay. Oh, no. Oh, come on. TikTok can be real annoying right now. Okay, on to something. Okay, let's read some comments here. Soccer player. Yep, he was a soccer player. Screw me. I got all that right. I want to say I pulled that one out of my ass. Well, his name is Lionel Messi, not Lionel Richie. So it's very likely for you to get that one right, dude. Someone is reading from Michael O'Leary's playbook. Be controversial. Yeah. No doubt. So you have to basically know what the latest fad is, but usually people copy those fads, but no one has done it. And you know what? I'll drink Mass. I've never tried Prime. I purposely told myself I'll never drink Prime, but I'll try Mass. I'll give that a show, and more likely to be healthy because it's been promoted by Lionel Messi, who obviously is a professional sports star. All right, this next clip.
I wouldn't rely on that alone, but
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. This next clip is racist. So let's check. If you need some explanation, I'll give it to you. And I'll happily play it again. Let's go.
Oh,
Whoa. You're not.
excuse me.
Dude, man, you better get up
Where's
off me,
Brendan?
man.
Where's Brendan?
Get away from me, bro.
No.
No.
Hey,
Go. You need to get.
walk away. Walk away.
You gotta go.
I will get off.
Out right now.
I don't want to touch you.
A Wisconsin dad is being accused of racism after putting his hands on a superintendent because he didn't want his daughter to shake the hand of a black man during her graduation ceremony. 49-year-old Matt Eddy interrupted the Baraboo High School ceremony as he ran to his daughter as she was about to receive her diploma on Friday. As she worked her way through a line of school officials shaking their hand, Eddie grabbed Superintendent Rainey Briggs by the arm and pushed him aside. "That's my daughter," the man is heard saying in the footage, as his daughter looks mortified. At some point, he appears to say, "I don't want her touching him." I don't knock nobody for what their beliefs are, but at the end of the day, your daughter had one graduation, and you just ruined it by being selfish. If you could see the look on her face, she was destroyed. And now she's embarrassed in front of all her classmates and all her friends at that school.
Now I hope your mother has to bail you out in the morning because you just assaulted someone, you fucking prick.
Have a quick look, by the way. The guy in the white hat here, he's pushing this black dude here.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're not.
That's assault.
Dude, man, you better get up off
Look
me,
at her
man.
face. Look at her face. Look at her. She's totally destroyed. And look, the hand on the head. Oh man.
A Wisconsin dad is being accused of racism.
I mean, seriously.
I love the teacher though. You better get your fucking hands off me.
Yeah. I've tried
Get
Prime.
your fucking hand up off of me.
And that guy was a superintendent. That's a police officer, isn't it?
No, superintendent can be a title like at a school as well.
But it's incredible. Like you could be that way inclined that you don't want your daughter shaking hands with a member of the school board who's black. I mean, how racist are you? And he got triggered that much, to make a scene like that. Incredible.
Well, thank goodness.
Incredible.
He was embarrassed because that shows that at least, because a lot of times this gets passed on, right? Generation to generation. But I think it's going to stop with her, and I hope it is.
Yeah, she's probably disgusted with her dad.
You can see the look on her face.
Bimu says, I tried Prime. No surprise it doesn't live up to the hype. Yep. I love how the graduate moves the tassel on her hair like nothing has happened, just trying to Yeah, she's definitely tried to cover her emotions, but she knows, dude. She know. I think you misread that one. You know, she's distraught, dude. You can see it in her face. Wait. Is it actually Heard saying he can't shake a hand because he's black? No, that wasn't actually Heard. But like, why him? Out of all the people you pushed, why him? You know, I don't want my daughter touching him.
Like,
You
and
know,
why run up on the stage? Like, if there was something a staff member had done to my daughter, I would have, in advance of this happening, said there's no way that this staff member who's been accused of doing something wrong is going to be around my daughter. He shows up, sees someone on the stage, obviously no pre-existing issues. It's got to be what he sees. And what's the only thing that he sees that's different there is the color of that man's skin. And to be so triggered that he can't even let her touch him. Yeah.
Yep.
You know, come on. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I mean, look, if there is, and well, look, I don't know much about it, dude. I mean, I think the guy got arrested or some shit like that, but
he could be, because he did assault someone. Technically, he did break the law.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Assault is any unwanted touch.
There is the possibility that he might have done something wrong. That superintendent guy, and he just had to act last minute, as a father because but it's just the way that daughter reacted. I'm getting more I'm trying to understand more things from the daughter.
Yeah.
And the fact that her graduation was ruined and she was distraught, and there was no real signs from her that this was a good thing her dad did. It came across that this was a bad thing.
And add to that fact what I said earlier. If he had, and I don't believe he in any way did something wrong prior to this, but if a staff member had, you would have addressed this prior to the graduation ceremony. He wouldn't be up on the stage with my daughter if he had actually done something.
Yeah. It wouldn't have got to this position.
Yeah.
It would have been dealt with a long time ago.
And she wouldn't be going to shake his hand. If I couldn't prevent that guy to be on stage, she would just walk by him. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have to run up between them and intervene. And not only just intervene, he had pushed him back.
And we are talking America, by the way. So let's remember, if a black guy does something wrong in America, they are going to come down on him. They're not going to give him a pass like he's fucking Donald Trump. They're going to make sure they throw the fucking book at him. So yeah, I'm just trying to make reason from what I just saw from that clip in that particular way. Very much Sherlock Holmes did.
If you have any other suggestions other than the one that Zam and I have come up with, I'd like to hear it, because I cannot think of another reason for those actions.
Yep. For our money to say a cast is racist when the larger story turns out it wasn't. Well, I mean, as somebody who's experienced racism on many occasions, it can be as simple as that, dude. But assault is assault. And it's absolutely horrible at her moment. I mean, I'll give you an example, like of me experiencing racism. I've mentioned this story a few times. This will be the first time I'm telling you it. I went to the United States in 2008 to watch WrestleMania. Me and my best friend, and he's still my best friend today, his name is Ray. We went there together, and I told Ray that before we leave, when we go to America, they're going to probably pull me over. And Ray rolled his eyes up at me like I was being paranoid and didn't take what I was saying too seriously. But the moment we land, we go through passport control together. We are together. His ticket is purchased on my credit card. And yet when we go through passport control together, they let Ray go through, the white guy, Ray with the gingery hair and all of that. They let him go through, and they keep me behind for questioning. Now, you know what? I could have brainwashed Ray, given him my WMDs, and tell him to blow himself up for Allah because you're too fucking stupid to check the guy with the fucking Muslim. But I was calling myself a Muslim back then.
And look at that biggest imbecile of all in your country that's radical. He's a redhead.
Yep, exactly. Sorry, I just want to emphasize, sorry, I was an atheist back then, but I put Muslim because I thought, for me, Americans had more hatred towards atheists than Muslims, which is why I called myself a Muslim when it came to filling in certain forms and stuff like that, which is why I went with that down that route. Yet they still pulled me aside and racially profiled me, and they let my white friend go through, even though he's with me. If he's with me, why the fuck are you not questioning him as well? If I'm worthy of questioning, then the person with me should be worthy of questioning. It makes no sense. You want another 9/11? Another 9/11 will happen by sending a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, white, fucking pale-skinned Muslim
female.
And to do the deed, but they won't fucking check on her.
Yeah. And you're right. That was racism. That wasn't religiousism or whatever that would be called. But that's true, because as long as you believe in God, even though they might hate you for being a Muslim, you're not as evil as an atheist in the States.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I went with the atheist, with the Muslim route.
Yeah.
It's a wonder her dad let her go to public rather than homeschool her if he's that racist. Yeah, I get you. Well, probably he can't homeschool her because he's too busy fucking, chopping logs or whatever the fuck he does.
Well, that might have been college. So I don't think you can homeschool college level kids.
Yeah.
Or was that high school?
I don't know, but I'm surprised homeschool kids go to college because I'm sure they're not getting the right education.
Yeah.
Maybe he did address it and no one was doing anything. Yeah, look, that is the possibility, but I'm just going off the reactions of the daughter, who seemed very happy to be graduating and stuff like that.
And then shocked and surprised and embarrassed.
Had no weird way of walking towards the man that might have apparently done something bad to her. Her whole approach was, I'm graduating. This is a moment in my life that I'll never forget, and her dad fucking ruined it.
She was shocked that it was happening. She was embarrassed by it. And if a staff member wasn't, if this wasn't addressed, my daughter would either walk with me past this person, or just would walk by this person by herself without acknowledging them. There's a reason he ran up on stage and pushed that one person aside.
In the TSA defense, you do look like a cool cat to sit and talk to. Thank you very much. It was so funny because I had nothing to hide, and which was my alibi. I told them why I was here. I told them I'm here to watch WrestleMania. My tickets are in the bag. You can check right now if you like. I was offering myself to them. Check my shit. Check it all. Your friend just looked too boring. Yeah, probably. And better an atheist than a communist in the States. Really? Fair enough.
Yeah, close, but yeah.
Okay, we are going over a bit, so I'm gonna finish with 2 more clips. All right.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah.
Okay, this one's funny. It's about cricket, and don't get me wrong. Everyone here should be able to appreciate this. All right.
Oh, I know what this is.
How are we losing to the USA? That's cricket. That's cricket. This is Pakistan. Let me explain this in football terms so you understand how crazy this is. This is like San Marino beating prime Brazil. This is the biggest win in American sports history, beating Pakistan at the World Cup. This is like Wrexham beating Real Madrid. Pakistan has the best player in the world. the best player in the world. This is like India beating Argentina in a football match. I'm not even lying. This might be the biggest upset in sports history. The man that beats us is a software professional. We got beat by an IT guy. I need to stop talking about Americans because they've actually won a game at a respectable sport. This isn't baseball. This is cricket. This is the second most popular sport in the world. This is an apology to all Americans. I know I've made fun of your weight, your intellect, your general hygiene, your looks. Basically, I've made fun of everything, but I am truly sorry. This bottle, you don't understand. It was like Barcelona's against Liverpool. We were up. It basically went to extra time. It was a super over. How are we losing to the...
People need to know this is a big fucking deal, man.
Oh yeah.
For Pakistan is one of the top tier teams in cricket. You think of like the biggest teams in cricket. Pakistan is up there. They win things. They have legendary players. They are a great cricketing nation. You don't fuck with Pakistan, and for USA to beat them, that should. And I guarantee you, every player in that USA team is pretty much a part-timer. For them to beat them at cricket, I'm gobsmacked.
I'm shocked.
So I just thought that was a really cool clip. And where we're gonna end? Let's have a look. We are focusing on Nigel Farage a lot, but you know what? Let's end here. This one's good. This one's good because it gives me a chance to use this.
Elon being done this week.
Now, when it comes to conspiracy theories, it needs to really make sense for it to be even plausible. Not like these flat earthers and shit like that with tinfoil hats and all these motherfuckers complaining about Dominion voting machines and shit like that. You really need to have really understandable conspiracies to have a case. And this is definitely one of them. Check out this dude.
Here's a conspiracy theory I think might be true. Last week, a Tesla crashed through a wall of my house. I was home when it happened. The first thing I did was check to make sure my roommate was okay. Then I called 911. Then I went outside and started taking pictures of the crash. My first picture was at 5:07 p.m. My first picture of the tow truck drivers trying to take the Tesla out of here was at 5:10 p.m. It had literally just happened minutes earlier. And so I was like, hey, can we pause for a second? Like the cops are on their way right now. And the tow truck driver actually said to me, fuck you. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me, dude? Like my house just got ran into. Have some empathy. And no joke, he goes, here's your empathy. And I was like, oh my God, you're being that much of a dick right now? And he goes, get the fuck out of my way. And then he shoved me. And he
Get the fuck off my property.
Me up and kill me if I didn't let him get the car out of there. So my question is Tesla's automatic crash system alerting tow truck drivers? And are they offering them a bunch of money to get the car out of a situation before news cameras show up? They don't want any more negative press because those tow truck drivers were here so fast and they were so aggressive, there had to be a bunch of money on the line. Here's a conspiracy.
Now,
I would say for him, tow truck drivers are intimidating, but it's private property. You can get off my fucking lawn.
Yeah, but that's not going to be the case, are they? They're going to if they're being paid off by Elon Musk, which is what it seems.
That's when I sit on the car.
And but these tow truck drivers, they're like repo men. They're glorified repo men, aren't they? A lot of them.
Yeah, but there's a difference. Repo men have the law behind them to enter your property and remove property that you owe money on. If there's an accident scene and it's on private property, They have no right to be on your private property, first of all. If it's an accident scene, police have to be involved because they have to do an accident report. So if they didn't leave, being an American, I'd have a fucking gun. So, and if I didn't, I'd just sit on the car.
Look, I agree. I'm just saying that you're pulling out a gun because
I wouldn't use it.
No. I'm not saying you're using it. Like the comment here from Bemused. Like the reason why I find I'm bemused, no pun intended, by the way, by this comment, is that okay, fine, somebody's crashed into your house. Now, are you really going to kill somebody for towing the car away? I mean, they're not. I mean, is that what you're going to use the gun for towing the car away? Look, even though you need, if you need, there's no self-defense issue here. You know, like this guy's not trying to kill you. Yeah, so
he threatened to kill him. So I'd sit on that car, and if he threatened to kill me, I would arm myself.
I'm not just saying you might be armed, but if you and somebody might even say something along those lines, but the moment you have to like respond to the actual action, because words are different to the recourse. So I'm just saying, I'm just saying, like, but I want to get back to more to the point. Car crashed at 7 minutes past 5. Within 3 minutes, the tow truck came up to pull the car away, so that there's no Tesla car at that accident. That's crazy.
Yeah, something's going on.
You know. Yeah, so they want to remove the evidence because apparently this car was self-driving or whatever. It crashed into this dude's house. You know, but luckily for him, he took photographs of it. But you know, I don't know what to make. Look, I don't want to just 100% agree with this guy, but he makes a good point.
I would
he makes a very good point.
How about this? I would be live streaming. I tell the guy I'm live streaming. I sit on the car, tell him I'm live streaming. So if he touches me, he's going to jail. I'd also verbalize that he's on private property and he has to leave immediately. I'd have a second person in my house called 911.
Okay, so the mythical unarmed Americans, and yep, well, they do exist. Here's one of them, and Rita is also will be surprised to know that here is another one, Cousin Cheeto. Cousin Cheeto's armed with joypads. You don't mess with him, man. With joypads and action figures. Richard Roy too. I hear there's a lot of criminal activity among a lot of the tow truck drivers here in Ontario. Really?
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Because you're not supposed to make people sign a contract under duress. They refuse to tow your truck unless you sign a waiver saying they can take your vehicle where they want, as opposed to where you want it taken, like, say, 5 blocks away from your house. My friend had hers towed all the way down to the lake, and we lived up at Wilson and Shepherd-ish area at the time. He'll know.
I mean, I have to admit that is really quick to have a tow truck within 3 minutes. I mean, even if you were on the payroll with Elon Musk, to get it 3 minutes, that's the next level shit. You have to be probably in the area for that to happen as well, and it just by chance. Towing the car so quick removes the evidence. Exactly, that's the whole point. Even though they took photographs. Richard Roy, why didn't the guy? He might have done. We don't know. He only showed us what he did just to keep himself safe for a TikTok video. And moving it before the police is pretty much the hit and run. Yep, definitely. Yep, Christine, and yep. So yeah, that's your lot, fellas. I'm not, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of conspiracies, but that guy's points are so valid, and what I've seen is so valid. It's very hard not to agree with him, especially when you're dealing with a dickhead like Elon Musk. Who
I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all, but I see something here that's fishy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I hope if anything more comes from this, I'll let you guys know.
And I'm too tired. I want to do Caitlin Clark next week.
Yep. Oh, you want to do it next? I'm so sorry, Chris. I went too long on this. I do apologize. But for now, guys, that is
Sam's TikTok treasures.
a smorgasbord of loveliness, of a variety of TikTok videos that span the world, and it comes to you from me. I hope you enjoyed it. All right, anything more to add?
Just that.
Oh
just
my
that.
God, you are a goddess.
Thank you.
Conspiracy theories and conspiracy theories and conspiracy are two very different animals. Yes, I agree. I agree. This Richard Roy, he's a fucking badass. He's a Canadian as well. Yeah, there you go. All
And
right.
he's from Ontario, it seems.
Yeah, that's where my cousin lives, Ontario or Toronto to be more precise. So yeah, he used to live in Scarborough, but he's moved now. The guy from last week who appeared in court from his car, his license. Yeah. I saw that. Yep. I'll bring that up next week. By the way, remind me, Daniel, if I forget. But it wasn't on TikTok. I brought that up. Okay, Hamilton. That's where the airport is as well. One of the airports. His license suspension was a clerical error. Yeah, I know. Everyone needs to forgive him. Ontario Hamilton. The world will end at some point. Sorry, the world will end at the hands of some dipshit trying to make a profit. Yeah, we are the generation, dude, where we have an opportunity
That's
to.
what global warming's about.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are the generation where we have an opportunity to make the world a better place, but it wasn't profitable. Yeah, I was going to Toronto back in 1980. No, sorry, was it 89 or 88 when I was a kid, and my flight got diverted to Hamilton Airport.
Yeah, it's a
So,
different city than Toronto, and it is a smaller airport.
It was a long ass fucking drive to get back to Toronto from there.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, but anyway.
Plus traffic.
All right, Chris, my wonderful co-host. Thank you very much for joining me. Everyone out there in YouTube land, as well as Twitter as well. Not Twitter, Twitch. We had a few people joining us. Please subscribe to us on both platforms. We are without doubt the greatest YouTube channel you never heard of. And the name is NerdTube. Remember it. Bye.
Bye.